Naruto, starting the live broadcast to the ninja world. Hey! Look who's back for more adventures. We love having you here to continue this story that keeps us all awake. Important note, all of this is pure fiction, so don't try any techniques you hear here in real life. Your neighbor might call the cops. This amazing novel and all its rights belong to the original author. We're just the ones giving it voice and drama. Are you enjoying the show? Prove it by subscribing to our YouTube channel and leaving that like that motivates us so much. And if you want to support us and get VIP access to exclusive content, our Ko-Fi is waiting for you. Chapter 251 Huo Dao Dao popped out from the screen. As soon as he finished speaking, a figure walked out of the black hole. These two masters and apprentices were none other than Sasuke and Naruto, who had just defeated the Orochimaru clan. The moment future Sasuke appeared in this ninja world, he suddenly turned his head and looked at one place. Masaka, is that Itachi? His sixth Magatama Rinnegan almost shrank into a dot. Is this time and space the time when Itachi just slaughtered his clan and defected from Konoha? Thinking of this, future Sasuke felt a little complicated. It's a pity that he cannot leave any traces in this ninja world, otherwise it will directly affect the future time and space, so he couldn't change Itachi's tragic fate. However, I can erase Itachi's memory before leaving. After making an excuse for himself in his mind, future Sasuke looked in Itachi's direction. I wonder what Itachi's expression will be when he sees his Rinnegan with Magatama. He decided that he would go and meet Itachi in this time and space. Future Sasuke said to Naruto, "Naruto, wait here for me, I have something to take care of." Far away, just as Itachi was speeding on his way, a figure appeared in front of him and blocked his way. At first Itachi thought he was seeing things, but then he reacted. Sasuke's. Future Sasuke was about to speak when he heard Itachi's next words, "A fan of future Sasuke?" Itachi feels close to Sasuke's loyal fans from the bottom of his heart. He looked at future Sasuke and praised him. "I didn't expect you to be so proficient in transformation and instant body movements. Even I can't see any flaws." Future Sasuke was silent. He felt that his brain was not enough. Itachi spoke up, "I'm running out of time, so I have to continue on my journey. Thank you very much for liking Sasuke." As he spoke, his figure flashed and disappeared in front of future Sasuke. Future Sasuke stretched out his hand. "Hey!" Without thinking, he chased after him again. He wanted to know what Itachi meant by that sentence. He didn't remember having any fans when he was a child, and when Itachi saw his sixth Magatama Rinnegan, he wasn't surprised at all. Is this reasonable? That is the Rinnegan with Magatama? Muai village. Kakashi knocked on the door of the Hokage's office with a document in his hand. "Enter, fire." "Lord Sandame, this is what I wrote down. All the important information revealed in this live broadcast." Sarutobi Hiruzen looked pleased. "Thank you for your hard work, 6th Hokage." 4 people on the field, Sarutobi Hiruzen said cheerfully. "It's just a joke, to liven up the atmosphere. Uchiha clan land, you can't come in. Go back to bed. If you block this place again, I'll arrest you all. Damn it. Just let me take a look at Sasuke." Yeah. Just take a look from a distance, arrest all of us? With this kind of law enforcement, you Uchiha don't want to compete for the Hokage." Listening to the villagers' words, the Uchiha clan member felt a little headache. "You guys should leave now. Sasuke-sama is still young and it's so late, he should be asleep already." The villagers surrounding them were somewhat unwilling. Those who can come to the edge of the village and the gate of the Uchiha clan as soon as possible after the live broadcast, naturally like Sasuke very much. Otherwise, just go and knock on someone's door far away. Uchiha Chihiro felt his scalp tingling as he looked at the crowd gathered outside the clan territory. The look in his eyes as he looked at the gatekeeper was full of pity. "Hurry up, Chihiro. It's so late. Sasuke-sama will go to bed soon. If you want to see him again, you can only do it tomorrow." "Hey! It's coming. Fugaku, who was walking at the back, sighed. "I'm afraid the next few days for the clan won't be peaceful." The elder smiled and said, "But this is a good thing for the clan, isn't it?" In the Uchiha clan, there emerged a member who would become as powerful as a god on the future. Who doesn't want to meet the future god of the ninja world? Not to mention others. Even he, the elder, wanted to see it with his own eyes. This moment in time is special. And the identities of Naruto and Sasuke are also special. The future of the ninja world still needs these two to save it. Can you imagine what Sasuke's future status will be in Konoha? And even in the ninja world, Fire Nation? Future Sasuke looked at Itachi, who frowned in front of him and explained, "I'm not a transformation jutsu." Itachi's brows relaxed, so the reason he caught up with me was to explain this. Itachi thought for a moment. Disguise jutsu? No wonder there's no sign of transformation jutsu. But aren't the merchants in the ninja world too fast? They actually made the 6 Magatama Samsara eyes so quickly, it's not a disguise. I'm Sasuke from the future, Itachi said. Oh, he didn't care, but still said politely, if there is nothing else, I should continue on my way. Future Sasuke, something is wrong. There is something wrong with this Itachi. You look like you know what I will look like in the future? And, future Sasuke complained silently in his heart. And listen, aren't you a little surprised when you see my eyes? Itachi looked puzzled. Shouldn't I know? Future Sasuke, Itachi's watertight way of speaking, is really annoying. Just when Itachi realized that something seemed wrong, future Sasuke spoke up. Itachi, I am Uchiha Sasuke from the future. This is the truth. Now let me ask you, what is going on in this ninja world? In order to prove the truth of his words, future Sasuke's eyes flashed red and the eternal Mangekyo appeared. Itachi's mind is full of question marks. The Mangekyo Sharingan, plus the tone of voice of a steely straight man after being alone for a long time. Did Huo come out of the screen? Itachi looked at future Sasuke in disbelief. How is this possible? Itachi, what do you know? Why did you recognize me right away? Itachi didn't think twice before blurting out, I also know that you didn't even recognize your own daughter. Then he added, and peanuts. Future Sasuke, how dare you say that to me? You didn't recognize your own Huo either. Rain Country Pine said to Naruto, it's getting late, go to bed first. When you wake up, I will personally guide you in training. After getting to know the 3 people from the Rain Country, Naruto was no longer afraid of them, although he still wanted to go back to his own home. Just then, Naruto's stomach growled. The live broadcast time this time is quite long. Zayanin said, then let's have supper before going to bed. Fire Nation inside and in Naruto exclaimed with white eyes, can I see the live broadcast of the past and the future? Future Sasuke couldn't believe it either. If what you said is true, then what will the future of the ninja world look like? No wonder Itachi was not surprised when he saw his Rinnegan. It turned out he had seen it before. Itachi smiled. Indeed. Many people in the ninja world should thank the live broadcast, especially me, you said. Especially, you. Chapter 252 Naruto and Pain number 039, sparring. Future Sasuke looked at the smile on Itachi's face, as if he had guessed something, and his breathing became much lighter at this moment. That's right. It was the live broadcast that changed the fate of me and my clan. The clan is now competing for the 5th Hokage, and there is a high probability that they will succeed. Future Sasuke's pupils trembled violently. What you said is true? Doesn't it mean that my parents, and everyone else, they are all fine? Itachi looked at Sasuke with guilt in his eyes. I'm sorry, Sasuke. Future Sasuke's body trembled slightly as he recalled the appearance of his parents in his mind. It's already a little blurry. What was blurry was not only the appearance of his parents, but also his eye sockets. You don't have to apologize to me. Itachi, I understand you, but he didn't say the second half of the sentence. Although I understand, I don't support it. Future Sasuke's words made Itachi feel as if the sun was burning his heart. Naruto scratched his head, not understanding what they were talking about, but seeing how serious the atmosphere was, he couldn't open his mouth to ask. The atmosphere was silent for a long time before future Sasuke spoke. That's great. This ninja world is really beautiful, especially in this ninja world. He will definitely be very happy then. Sasuke stood up. My chakra has almost recovered. It's time to leave. Itachi saw the reluctance in his eyes and wanted to give him a way out. He asked, aren't you going to go see your parents? They should also want to see you, and I believe they have a lot to say to you. Future Sasuke shook his head slightly with a complicated expression. Naruto is still waiting for me to come back. As for erasing Itachi's memory, it is no longer needed, Itachi said with some regret. Is that so? I didn't expect you to leave so soon. I thought you would stay and watch the live broadcast before leaving. Maybe you can get some useful future information from the live broadcast. Future Sasuke paused. Information about the future? If it is information about the Akatsuki, then it is extremely important to him, Naruto, and the entire ninja world. Naruto obviously also knows the importance of unknown information. Master, do you want to stay here? A month is not that long. Future Sasuke is in a dilemma. As for Naruto, it seems that for the time being, he is not that needed. Itachi saw that he was hesitant and said to him, if you leave now, you may never have the chance to see your parents again. The scales in future Sasuke's heart began to tilt. If the matters in your ninja world were not so urgent, I would rather you stay and witness the moment when Uchiha becomes Hokage. Hearing Itachi's words, future Sasuke felt a little moved. Seeing his parents and witnessing his family becoming Hokage was a way to make up for the regrets in his life. He looked at Naruto and asked, Naruto, what do you say? Master, please stay. I am also very curious about what this live broadcast is like and want to see it with my own eyes. Future Sasuke nodded. Since you are so curious, wait until you finish watching the next live broadcast before leaving. Seeing Itachi's strange look when he looked at him, Future Sasuke coughed dryly and changed the subject. By the way, Nissan, are you still planning to leave the village this time? That's right. The live broadcast exposed what I would do in the future. For the sake of the stability of the village. I'm afraid I can't go back, so, Future Sasuke asked again, are you still planning to join Akatsuki next? Maybe, but I have to kill Danzo first. Keeping a guy like that around is too dangerous for the clan. After hearing Itachi's words, Future Sasuke was shocked. Nissan, have you finally awakened? As for why Itachi wanted to kill Danzo, Future Sasuke could probably guess the reason. It's nothing more than that the evil deeds done by Danzo were exposed, and the Uchiha people wanted to kill Danzo. With the existence of Danzo, the Uchiha would have a gap with the top leaders, but Danzo had made a lot of contributions to Konoha, and he was also a high-ranking official of Konoha. It was difficult to take action against the Uchiha from Konoha village, so the Uchiha rebel ninja from Konoha village became the most suitable candidate. Itachi asked, well, if you are going to Konoha next, I can write a letter to the village leaders and my father to inform them in advance. Future Sasuke was a little confused, but still responded, okay, when to set off. Future Sasuke looked at Itachi, who did not start to exterminate the clan, and was silent for a moment. Tomorrow, Blue Star. After a game ended, Qiu Li was silent as he looked at the 4 big words mission failed on the phone screen. You shouldn't play ranked with this guy. He must have hit his brain with a pig before. So he believed the other person's bragging about how good he was at playing games. It's obviously as bad as a robot. A very pleasant female voice came from the microphone. In a 30-minute game, you saved me 8 times. Is this love? After dropping 3 beans, Qiu Li, with a dark face, took a deep breath and calmed down. This is my promotion match. After saying that, he kicked the other person out of the team. Dabe couldn't help but smacking his lips. You deserve to be single. Early the next morning, many people from all over the ninja world began to leave their homes and head for Konoha village. The purpose of most people's trip is to see with their own eyes the 2 saviors and Emperor Kai, who have not yet grown up. Even if they only saw one, they would be satisfied. It's a pity that there are too many competitors, otherwise someone would have issued an escort mission when they left and let Emperor Kai personally send them home. Rain Country. After breakfast, Naruto followed Pain to the training ground. The sparring between Pain and Orochi was certainly not something to watch, but Old Man Kakuzu and Jozo Biwa still watched it with great interest. Old Man Kakuzu said cheerfully to Biwa Juzo beside him, if he can touch the leader, I will dig out my heart. Biwa Juzang was speechless. This is impossible. Not far away Naruto punched Pine, but Pine easily caught his fist. Naruto turned around and kicked him. Pine released Naruto's fist and held Naruto's foot with one hand. Seeing this, Naruto bared his teeth, looking confident of victory, and formed seals with his hands. Look at me. Seduction skills. With a bang, the sexy lolly with twin ponytails appeared vaguely in the smoke. Pain was not affected at all and slapped him on the forehead. Naruto covered his forehead and cried out, damn it. As expected, he is a powerful enemy with a Rinnegan. If that's the case, Pain said calmly, what a boring trick. Naruto once again formed seals with his hands, reverse harem jutsu, boom, several people in the field were stunned. Zayanen's mouth twitched and he subconsciously turned his head to the side. Naruto seized the opportunity and punched Pine. Although Pine reacted in time, Naruto's fist still grazed the tip of his nose. Kakuzu's eyes almost popped out of his head. The leader was actually met. Biwa Juzo was shocked and said, oh thanks. Could it be that among these guys who are not even wearing pants, one of them is Chief Yahiko? Although it's hard to accept, but if anyone were to do this, they would be stunned, right? As expected of the future savior, hearing Naruto's excited cheers, Konan held her forehead in silence. Chapter 253. I hope Kai can get out of the shadows soon. Fire Nation Muai Village. Fugaku, Sarutobi Hirozen, and the 2 advisors were on their way to the Hokage building. Sarutobi Hirozen said, Heichi has withdrawn from the election. It seems that it is a foregone conclusion that Uchiha will become Hokage. Fugaku said sternly, 3rd generation, don't change the subject. If you don't give Uchiha an explanation about Danzo, even if Uchiha gives up the chance to become Hokage, he must break into the Ghost Lantern City prison and kill Danzo to vent his anger. Midamanen frowned. If you don't even have this much tolerance, how can you be the leader of a village? Fugaku sneered. It's just that the incident didn't happen to you, Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth. Does he really have to release Danzo from the Kazuna Castle prison and watch Danzo being killed by the Uchiha clan members with his own eyes? How could he possibly do such a thing? Just as they reached the door of the Hokage building, the villagers gathered around and broke the deadlock. A villager asked loudly, "Hokage-sama, where is Naruto? Why is there no one at his home?" Seeing more and more villagers gathering around, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt his scalp tingling. "Yes, Hokage-sama. Where is Naruto? I want to see Naruto." "Hokage-sama, where's Naruto?" Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Fugaku innocently. "Yes, Hokage-sama. Where's Naruto?" Looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen's shameless face, several people were stunned. Fugaku really wanted to take out a mirror and let Sarutobi Hiruzen see how shameless he was at this moment. Be shitted, he said. How could the village leaders give Uchiha, who wanted to stage a coup, a chance to become Hokage? It turned out that I had encountered a problem that I couldn't solve. How big of a deal was it that Naruto was kidnapped? The live broadcast has only been over for a few hours. If you go to the noisy entrance of Konoha village now, you will find out. But Fugaku also knew Sarutobi Hiruzen could temporarily deal with this matter by just making up a lie or using the transformation technique to become Naruto. Although it is not a long-term solution, as long as Naruto is found, everything will not be a big problem. But I still want him to find a solution. Fugaku also reacted. This was intended to test his ability to respond to emergencies as Hokage. Fugaku was somewhat troubled by this matter for a moment. After thinking for a moment, Fugaku said to the villagers who were shouting loudly with a stern face, "Silence. Naruto's whereabouts are a top secret of the village, and I cannot tell you anything." There was silence for a moment. "Really? Don't think you Uchiha can be fearless just because you have Sasuke?" "That's right. If it weren't for Sasuke, do you really think I would like your police force? Naruto can't see it, Sasuke can't see it, even Kai can't see it. How can the village be like this?" When the senior executives heard someone mention Kai, the corners of their mouths couldn't help but twitch. Many people underestimated the enthusiasm of the villagers. Fugaku said to the villagers with a stern face, "It is impossible for you to see Naruto. As for Sasuke, the Uchiha did not restrict his freedom in order to protect him. I also respect his own wishes. If he is willing, he will appear in front of you. As for Mr. Kai," having said this, Fugaku hesitated to speak. Among the villagers who knew the inside story, they were speechless. "Kai can understand." Several villagers beside him looked at him and asked in surprise. "Given Kai's personality, he should refuse to let us meet or take a photo with him, right? He doesn't even show up now, which itself reveals something strange. How can we understand it? By the way, brother, why are you wearing clothes from the ninja clan era? They look pretty nice. Where did you buy them? Don't even think about it now. That profiteer is buying more than 10,000 taels." Faced with everyone's inquiries, the villager who knew the inside story explained the reason to everyone. The situation was like this. Last night, after the live broadcast, when Kai was about to go home, a drunk guy pulled his hand and confessed his love to him in public. The drunk was a man. Although there were not many people present at the time, Kai might have suffered a psychological trauma. Huh? Something like this has ever happened, really? How can a man confess his love to another man? This is more eye-opening than a live broadcast. That drunkard deserves to die. Otherwise I would have seen Kai by now. I heard that guy was beaten up badly by Kai's fans and his leg was broken. I hope Kai can get out of the shadows soon. Tisk. The admiration for strong men is not only shared by women, but also by men. Just as everyone was talking and being distracted by Guy's incident, Sarutobi Hiruzen and the other three had already sneaked back to the Hokage building. A passing ninja couldn't help but sigh. The village is so lively. That's right. There are too many people at the entrance of the village. We can't even accept missions outside the village. Hokage building. The four of them walked into the office, and Shikoku put down the documents in his office chair. Looking at the thick pile of unprocessed documents on the table, Lu Jiayu couldn't help but complain in his heart. I really can't continue to work as a Hokage agent for a day. However, thinking of the information Itachi had sent back, Shikoku became more alert. He said to the four people who came in, "Just now, Itachi sent back a piece of information that I find incredible." Half an hour later, after listening to Shikoku's explanation, the atmosphere in the field fell into a brief silence. "Shikoku, can you confirm whether the information is true? It's incredible. There is actually a treasure that can travel through time and space, so, the future Sasuke and Boruto are already on their way to Konoha." If this is true, Fugaku could no longer sit still. The village is now surrounded by enemies. If Sasuke and Boruto want to enter Konoha, I will need to go out to greet them. Fugaku stood up and said hurriedly, I will call the police force to evacuate the crowd outside the village. Sarutobi Hiruzen recovered from his shock and quickly warned, don't chase them away, I understand. With that said, Fugaku was about to walk out of the Hokage's office, and many more. Fugaku stopped. Sarutobi Hiruzen came to the Hokage's desk, opened the drawer and took out a scroll, then took out a vessel from the scroll. This is Shisu's. Fugaku waved his hand. There's no rush for Shisu's eyes. Let me get Sasuke and Boruto back first. Sarutobi Hiruzen stared blankly at Fugaku's back. This is another god. Come here and take this eye. How much effort will it take you? After recovering from his shock, Sarutobi Hiruzen smiled helplessly. Since Boruto is here, let's notify Hayashi. Since Naruto was kidnapped, it would be most appropriate for Boruto to live in Hinata's house. Forget it, I'll go myself. Sarutobi Hiruzen placed the vessel back into the scroll and stood up. He was very curious. Would the serious Rizu really be so annoying after seeing his grandson? This is a rare moment. Chapter 254, Rizu, the grandson is coming? At this time, outside the Konoha village, Boruto and Sasuke just arrived here. Boruto looked at the entrance of Konoha village, which looked like a zombie siege, and his mouth was open for a long time. This group of people is exaggerating, right? Is it that serious? Future Sasuke looked at the spectacular scene in front of him and couldn't believe it. What Itachi said was actually true? Just exposing my experience with Naruto has caused such a big impact, even for Naruto who became the post-Hokage. Those people in the ninja world would not be so exaggerated, right? Not to mention the ninja world, even the residents of Konoha village have never been so exaggerated. Everyone who saw the two of them started talking about it. Look there, oh my god. This looks so much like Sasuke himself. Boruto looks similar, too. It should be a transformation technique, right? How can makeup create this effect? Is there no one who can play Naruto? I want to see Indra. Where's Naruto? Naruto, I want to give birth to a monkey for you, not far away. Boruto, Rain Country. Naruto looked at Faleau with shining eyes. Brother Scorpion, can I really go in and try? Scorpion looked at Naruto with a faint smile on his face. Of course, if you want to control Faleau, I can also teach you how to control a puppet. Naruto scratched his head and asked in distress, do I need to cast a seal? Scorpion found that he liked Naruto more and more originally. He felt empathy for Naruto because he saw the love that the fourth Hokage and Kushina had for Naruto, but after a short time together, he found that Naruto did have a kind of personality charm that made people unconsciously want to get close to him. Maybe it was because of the live broadcast, or maybe it was because Scorpion recognized Naruto. This recognition has nothing to do with Naruto's future strength, it is simply because of Naruto himself. No need to seal. Great. One day, I will have a puppet of my own. Hearing this, Scorpion took out a few more exquisite puppets from the scroll. Naruto, if you learn puppetry, I will give you these puppets as gifts. Naruto's eyes were full of stars, and he exclaimed, wow. There are puppets that can transform? Brother Scorpion, your art is so cool. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan Hinata Hayashi stood up suddenly. Sandame, are you telling the truth? Boruto from the future came to this ninja world with a treasure that can travel through time and space. Based on the speed of a ninja, Boruto and Sasuke should be almost at the entrance of the village by now. But based on Sasuke's speed, he is probably already waiting at the entrance. However, due to the special circumstances, they are unable to enter the village yet. Hayashi walked towards the door. Thank you Sandame for telling me the news. I will go out to greet Boruto. Rizu couldn't hide his excitement. I never thought that I would be able to see my lovely grandson so soon. In the yard, Neji and Hinata are sparring. Neji blocked Hinata's palm and said, that's enough. Miss Hinata, you are very tired. Take a break. Hinata's arms were shaking slightly and her hair was soaked with sweat, but her face was determined. Brother Neji, I will not let you sacrifice for me again. Please fulfill my determination to protect my brother and become stronger. Neji's pupils suddenly trembled. Miss Hinata, Hinata's words happened to be heard by Hayashi and Sarutobi Hiruzen, who were passing by. Rizu's face was full of relief after seeing Neji sacrifice himself to save her. Hinata changed so much that even as her father, it felt unreal. He had already seen Hinata's determination. A smile appeared on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face. This is the power called protection. It can infinitely magnify a ninja's potential and allow the ninja to burst out with power beyond its own. Outside Konoha village, looking at the Uchiha people evacuating the people outside the village, future Sasuke felt inexplicably nervous as time went on. His palms became sweaty. Soon, I will see my father and mother soon. Although, they are just parents of this world inside Konoha village in the training ground of the Uchiha clan. Uchiha Takuma was patiently teaching Sasuke the fire-release ninjutsu. Sasuke-sama is worthy of being the strongest man in the clan in the future. This talent has surpassed most of the clan's ninjas. Sasuke puffed his lips. Brother Takuma, please stop praising me. I feel so much pressure now. After hearing Sasuke's words, Uchiha Takuma immediately thought of the key to the matter too. Putting titles like savior and strongest person in a clan on a 6-year-old child. Takuma said ashamedly, I'm sorry, Master Sasuke. Outside Konoha village, future Sasuke finally saw Fugaku striding towards him. Future Sasuke clenched his sweaty palms from the moment he saw Fugaku. It seemed as if time had stood still with his glance. Future Sasuke felt that he would never forget what his father looked like again when Fugaku approached. He looked at his mature and steady future son with complicated eyes. The Sasuke in front of him was the same Sasuke on the screen who had gone through countless hardships and whose life was like a legend. At this Timiya figure approached from afar at a very fast speed. Boruto. Is it really Boruto? Boruto was shocked. Oh no. It's the young grandfather. He turned around and tried to hide behind Sasuke, but Hiashi appeared in front of him in an instant and grabbed Destiny by the back of the collar. Why are you hiding from me? Am I that scary? As he spoke, Rizu adjusted his expression and tried not to look so serious. Little Boruto, come and let Grandpa take a good look at you. This is the first time Grandpa sees you, Fugaku said. Let's go back to the village first. This is not the place to talk, future Sasuke responded. Hiashi looked at the future Sasuke for a while, then said, Welcome, Sasuke, Boruto. Since you plan to stay here for some time, Boruto, come with me to Hyuga. Boruto said weakly, I can just go to Dao-san's house. I also lived in Dao-san's house before. Both Hiashi and Fugaku couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. Has Boruto ever lived in Naruto's house in another time and space? You went to Dao-san's house before, isn't it just right to go to Ka-san's house now? I'm sure Hinata will be very happy to see you. Far away the evacuated crowd watched this scene. What is Konoha trying to do? Isn't that the father of Hyuga, Hiashi and Sasuke? Could it be that Boruto and Sasuke were transformed by Konoha ninjas using transformation techniques? But what kind of ninja can let both of them come out to greet him at the same time? That's the head of the Uchiha and Hyuga clans. The three ninjas don't have this kind of treatment, right? Damn it. Let me in. I'm the client, and I came to Konoha to issue a mission. Stop shouting. We can't issue a task like taking a photo with Kai or Uchiha ninja, then we came here for nothing. Chapter 255 Despicable Mata. Future Sasuke followed Fugaku all the way to the Uchiha clan's territory. The tribesmen passing by all looked at the future Sasuke with fanatical eyes. Is this true? The captain didn't lie to us. I have a feeling of unreality. It turns out to be Sasuke-sama from the future, the Sasuke-sama who is as powerful as a god. Future Sasuke listened to these whispers and looked at these familiar yet unfamiliar figures, his heart filled with emotion. He really envied a Sasuke in this world until he saw Mikado not far ahead. With eyes full of pity, future Sasuke's body trembled and his eyes gradually became moist. Hyuga clan. As soon as Boruto walked into the Hyuga mansion, he saw Hinata and Neji, who had temporarily stopped sparring because they heard the noise at the same time. Neji and Hinata looked towards the source of the sound. Boruto? Hinata rubbed her eyes. Mom. Boruto was struck by lightning. Although he was mentally prepared when he saw his young grandfather, he was still frightened when he actually saw Hinata. The mother is so young now. Boruto scratched his face with both hands. Hinata opened her mouth slightly and looked at Hiashi in disbelief. Hiashi looked at the lively Boruto with a smile on his face. That's right, Hinata, he is Boruto from the future. Ninja World. Somewhere Zabuza urged impatiently. Hurry up, are you done? Right away. Right away. As he said that, the man pressed the shutter of the camera. Crack. Hearing the voice, Zabuza waved his hand and said, since the filming is over, leave quickly and don't disturb us as we continue on our journey. Okay, take care. The man took out the photos he had just developed. The woman who took the photo with Zabuza and Haku quickly ran over to him and started checking the photo. The photo showed her, and the woman looked at Zabuza's arm at the edge of the photo and said regretfully, what a pity, the photo was not taken well. Zabuza's arm is such an eyesore. The other side. Before Zabuza and Bai walked far, they heard a surprised voice. Look! Isn't that Haku and Zabuza? Great! Go take a picture. Is this Bai in person? She looks even better than on the screen. Zabuza's expression changed. Shiro, retreat. You come to us again to take pictures and get autographs. Fire Nation Muai Village Hokage's office. Shikaku Yuan, put down the documents in his hand, and asked Sarutobi Hiruzen, who was helping to process the documents, "Sandame, was the Hayashi clan leader really that disgusting when he saw Boruto?" Sarutobi Hiruzen looked strange. "I didn't expect Shikoku to have such a gossipy side." "A little bit, but not as exaggerated as on the screen." Shikoku touched his nose awkwardly. "I'm just a little curious about the contrast of the Hayashi clan leader." "Me too. Lunchtime should be over by now, so Fugaku should be here by now, right? Since becoming Hokage is a foregone conclusion, you should familiarize yourself with how to handle files in advance." Just thinking of Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt heavy-hearted. "Do we really have to transfer Danzo out of Kazuna Castle and kill him for the sake of the village's stability?" Not long as expected, Fugaku walked into the office. "You've finally decided to come back," Sarutobi Hiruzen said, taking out a vessel from the scroll and handing it over. Fugaku took it. "Is this Shisame Jekayo? The other one should be with Itachi," Sarutobi Hiruzen said seriously. "This technique of beaten Akatsuki is too dangerous. Don't use it if you can. And don't publicize it. Otherwise, it might cause fear." But then, a scene occurred that shocked Shikoku and Sarutobi Hiruzen greatly. The three Magatama in Fugaku's eyes connected together, and a ball of black flame appeared out of nowhere, burning the vessel to ashes. "Fugaku, you actually have a Mangekyo. This guy is really good at hiding." If Fugaku hadn't exposed it himself, no one would have thought that the Uchiha clan leader had such a hidden card. "Right, since you want to become Hokage, how can you not have some strength?" As he said this, the kaleidoscope shape in Fugaku's eyes disappeared. "You're right, Sandame. The eye technique of Kido Matsukami is too dangerous. I think it's better to destroy it directly, so that some people won't be able to sleep well and secretly fear Uchiha, which is also not what Uchiha wants to see." Sarutobi Hiruzen had a complicated expression. "I didn't expect you to be so magnanimous." Fugaku walked towards an extra chair and said, "Sasuke can only stay here for a month. He will leave as soon as the next live broadcast is over. This is also his most important reason. He wants to try his luck and see if he can get any information about the future." Sarutobi Hiruzen said nothing. Fugaku continued, "The second is that I want to see Uchiha become Hokage. As a father, I was not able to accompany him to grow up, but in this matter, I don't want to disappoint him. Uchiha will also do a good job as Hokage." Sarutobi Hiruzen breathed a sigh of relief and nodded. "After the government affairs are dealt with, there will be another high-level meeting. The main topics to be discussed are, how to deal with the impact of Naruto's abduction, reporting to the daimyo's mansion on the selection of the fifth generation, and the 5 cage talks." Shikoku twitched his lips and complained, "As for the identities of Sasuke and Boruto, let's issue a gag order for now. Otherwise, I'm afraid the village will be conquered by foreign tourists." Fugaku said, "Before I came here, I had already ordered the tribe members to keep silent. They will not reveal this matter, although the tourists outside Konoha village have begun to make wild guesses, but no one has been smart enough to guess that this is the real Sasuke. Naturally, the people who didn't see Naruto, Sasuke and Kai would not be willing to leave outside Konoha village. Great. Why didn't I think of it? It's also possible to have a ninja use a transformation technique to become Sasuke's appearance." Who were the people who became Sasuke and Boruto? Why were they valued so much by the heads of the two big families? Does Konoha village intend to leave us hanging like this? What else can we do? With so many of us, how can we all enter Konoha village? If there were fewer people, it might be possible to get in, but there are too many people now. Inside Konoha village, future Sasuke took the initiative to take on the task of guiding Sasuke in his training. "I have nothing to do anyway." The two of them were surrounded by Uchiha members who came to watch in the training ground. Sasuke panted heavily. Even after opening the double Magatama Sharingan, the gap is still huge. In a park not far from Haruno's house, Sakura held her chin with one hand as she watched two children about her age playing a ninja game in front of her. The two naughty kids roared so loudly that Sakura could clearly hear what they were saying. "Ma. Da. La. Take this, your Kai." The naughty kid who was kicked on the butt roared angrily, "Damn it. How dare you use such a heavy hand? In that case, I love you, you vile motor." Chapter 256 Oolong Incident. The naughty kid who played Kai covered his chest and fell to the ground, looking defeated. The naughty kid who played the role of Madara looked very proud and dusted off his butt. "Keep dancing, Sakura." She couldn't imagine what would happen if Madara saw this unprecedented battle that had damaged her reputation. "I'm afraid he will be furious. Hyuga clan Boruto is having a hard time serving as Hinata's sparring partner." Hinata slapped him with her palm, but it was easily blocked by Boruto. Hinata's face was serious. "Boruto, Why don't you take action? Boruto said with a sullen face. Oka-san, don't you think about it? How could I possibly do that to you? Hinata stopped her attack and said, I'm sorry to trouble you. Boruto quickly waved his hands. No, don't say that, Kazan. This is what I should do. The next moment, something unexpected happened under the dull gazes of Hinata and Niji. Hayashi picked up Boruto and said, little Boruto is so sensible. Boruto struggled violently. Grandpa, you are obviously not that old. Why are you already annoying? Ningxi murmured. Has uncle completely let himself go since his inner thoughts were exposed on the live broadcast? He had never seen Hayashi show his affection for Hinata and Hanabi like this before. This may be the relationship between generations. The next day in a training ground finally, some villagers saw Kai in the village. Wow! Look! It's Kai! Kai bared his white teeth and gave everyone a thumbs up. Thanks for the support, Kai. You really are worthy of being a well-known strong man in the ninja world. Your heart is so strong that you came out of the shadows so quickly. Shadow? Kai was stunned for a moment. What shadow? How come he doesn't know? Wasn't it because someone expressed his love to you last night that you were frightened? Kai was shocked. So that's a declaration of love. Yes, this matter is not only known to Konoha, but even the tourists outside know about it. According to the grapevine, a drunk held your hand last night and shouted I love you, Emperor Kai. Unexpectedly, Kai's face suddenly turned serious. That's not the case at all. I suddenly had a stomach ache last night, so I broke free from him and ran away. The villagers' words were not a declaration of love. After Kai's explanation, the villagers who came from all directions suddenly realized what was going on. So, this is a misunderstanding. In fact, I admire Kai very much. When I watch his live broadcast, I get excited easily. It's not hard to understand him saying things like I love you or I want to give birth to a baby for you, not to mention meeting him in person when he's drunk. I see. So the drunkard got beaten for nothing. What that guy shouted was too easy to be misunderstood. In addition, Emperor Kai broke free from him and ran away. I'm afraid anyone would misunderstand. This incident had a significant impact. After the incident, it was reported to the Hokage and the police force. Then Kai, why didn't you come out of the house yesterday? You made us so worried about your mental condition. Thank you very much for your concern. Kai's face twitched. The reason is that many villagers blocked my door yesterday. Although I am grateful for their admiration for me, it also caused me a lot of trouble. After hearing what he said, the villagers around him who originally wanted to ask for autographs and take photos felt embarrassed during the live broadcast. Any decent and powerful ninja can surpass any actor in the ninja world in terms of fame, but Kai doesn't want to be a big star in the ninja world. Hokage building Fugaku looked at the street scene outside the window with mixed feelings. After a while, he made a decision. No, you absolutely cannot do that. Even for Konoha, he couldn't do this. Sarutobi Hiro's inside. Okay, I can understand you. Midamane frowned and said, but, as long as you ask the future Sasuke, he will definitely not refuse. He is so powerful, isn't it easy to find Naruto? Sarutobi Hiro's inside, but doing so would make it seem like Itachi had ulterior motives in persuading him to stay. Perhaps Itachi had this in mind, so he persuaded him to stay? As long as we find the masked man, we will know where Naruto is hidden by him. Alright. Stop talking. We should trust Itachi. He will bring Naruto back. As he spoke, Sarutobi Hirozen took out his pipe and lit it. In the future, Sasuke can stay in the village to make up for the regret in his heart. It was a bit shameless for the village to ask him to help find Naruto at this time, especially when a father who feels guilty asks the other party. Besides, facing that time and space ability that appears and disappears without a trace, even the future Sasuke may not be able to find it in a short time. Evening Uchiha clan land. Fugaku is busy. Even if future Sasuke came, he couldn't spare much time to accompany him now. Future Sasuke and Mikado can both understand this. After meal, Mikado went back to the house, and no one knew what she was doing. There were only two Sasukes sitting in the living room. In the end, it was future Sasuke who spoke first. Can you tell me about the live broadcast? When this was mentioned, Sasuke looked at future Sasuke with disdain in his eyes. Why are you looking at me like that? Future Sasuke looked puzzled. Little Sasuke counted on his fingers. The domineering Madara, the powerful Taijutsu Emperor Kai, and you, my future self, are the second pillar who kissed Naruto. Future Sasuke. Little Sasuke kept talking, scolding future Sasuke. You actually believed what Kakashi taught you, called your own daughter Dear Peanut, and your own daughter hated you. I'm embarrassed for you. In the clan, Peanut has become Sarada's nickname now. And the fact that you didn't even recognize your own daughter. I can't understand how my future self could become like that. Even the 6-year-old me thought you were unreliable. Future Sasuke sweated profusely. Masuka. Could it be that the latter two are nothing but he and Naruto kissed? Yes. You guessed it right. This was seen by everyone in the ninja world. At this point, Sasuke covered his chest and said, the kiss between you and Naruto was broadcast live 3 times. 3 times? Future Sasuke is completely messed up originally. The ninja world in his eyes was his infinite Tsukuyomi, a beautiful world. Only now did he realize that when all the beautiful illusions were peeled off, this was simply hell at this moment. He suddenly missed home. I miss Sakura, Sarada, Naruto, and the house that was destroyed by Sakura's punch before I could pay off the mortgage. Let the person he used to be bear all the responsibilities for him. The other side. After Sakura and Ino apologized and reconciled, the two sat on the park bench until dark before parting. Goodbye, Ino. Goodbye, Sakura. Sakura. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 257. What a pity. Back home, Hiruno Zhao, who was sitting on the sofa after dinner, saw Sakura coming in, raised his eyebrows and jokingly said, "Hey, Sakura brother is back? Have you and Ino eaten outside? Do you want to eat more?" Sakura suddenly got angry and scratched her hair frantically. "Who gave me this nickname? It's so unladylike," Hiruno Zhao said cheerfully. "Isn't it that everyone recognizes your future strength? Your heroic image of being decisive and defeating the enemy with one punch has been deeply rooted in people's hearts. Sakura, you are no longer suitable for the path of a lady." Hiruno Mibuki, who was still wearing an apron, added, "It's better than Lei Ying, right?" Sakura stopped scratching her hair when she heard her mother's words. Hyuga clan. At dinner, Boruto looked down at the little lolly who was only 2 or 3 years old. Mini auntie. The corner of Rizu's mouth twitched. Hanabi put her hands on her hips, raised her head and said fiercely, "Call me sister, Boruto." Uchiha clan Land Sasuke began to narrate the live broadcast to his future self in order to test whether he could continue to improve his pupil power. He described the embarrassing video content carefully and vividly, trying his best not to miss any details. Future Sasuke felt that even if he had never watched the live broadcast, he had been enlightened. Sasuke's story frightened him. How can someone do such a thing? Calling another man hubby on the street? Isn't he embarrassed? It was hard for Sasuke to imagine that scene in the future. The embarrassment in his heart will also tell him that it is useless to think too much, and it's harmful. Next, Sasuke, who felt a little disappointed that his eye power had not improved, told him one by one photos of Madara wearing women's clothes. And she's very beautiful. Future Sasuke was shocked, his pupils trembling violently even though he hadn't seen it with his own eyes. Just by hearing it, he could feel goosebumps on his right arm. "I just can't imagine it. What a pity." Hearing his words, Sasuke asked, "Why do you seem very curious and want to see it with your own eyes?" Future Sasuke shook his head. "That's not the case. How pretty can a woman with a hedgehog head be? But I can share this with Naruto when I get back." He was looking forward to what Naruto's expression would be when he heard about Madara in women's clothing. Then there was the video where Naruto started to be called the savior, which Sasuke remembered very clearly. Naruto, the one who should have turned evil the most, but in the end he saved the world. He was treated like that when he was a kid, but in the end he was recognized by everyone and saved the ninja world with his own strength. The title is pretty fitting. I believe the words of the first Kage and tried to stop Madara, but out at his hands. That's what happened. The battle between Guy and Madara? My consciousness was no longer on the battlefield at that time, so I didn't see it, but I often heard people mention it later. I didn't expect the details to be like this. Might Guy is indeed a strong man worthy of respect. Yeah, Sasuke nodded vigorously. You can't feel the shock just by describing it. Many of the tribesmen want to learn taijutsu from Mr. Kai. Then, Sasuke talked about the battle between the fourth Hokage and the masked man. It would be a lie for future Sasuke to say how interested he is in this, but he was Naruto's father after all. So out of politeness he listened patiently. After listening to it, he couldn't help but feel emotional. The fourth Hokage was truly a brilliant talent. It's a pity that the idiot Naruto didn't inherit any of his advantages. Apart from his reverse harem technique, only the 6 giant jade spiral shuriken that could resist his Indra's arrow could make him look at him differently. Next, let's talk about Sasuke. It's Sasuke, The time when I used Chidori to smash the meteorite and protect Konoha. At that time, Naruto was fighting someone on the moon and was not in Konoha? Sasuke was shocked to hear his whisper. What? Naruto was fighting someone on the moon. Aren't all future paths limited to the sky? They're all going to the moon. Just then, a puzzled voice sounded behind the two of them. What's fighting on the moon? Sasuke turned around and explained. Mom, he said that when he used Chidori to smash the meteorite to protect Konoha, the reason why Naruto was not in Konoha was because he was fighting someone on the moon. Mikado subconsciously turned her head and looked at the sky outside on the moon. Even if you have the Mangekyou Sharingan, it is impossible to go to the moon. How powerful must someone be who can fight on the moon? She had a clearer understanding of Naruto's future level of strength. However, her son is also very strong. When the meteorite was discovered, Sasuke was obviously not in Konoha. He might have been traveling somewhere. He rushed over to smash the meteorite when he saw it falling towards Konoha. The speed alone is horrifying enough. Thinking of this, Mikado looked at future Sasuke. Sasuke, can you tell me in detail? After all, her husband is going to be the Hokage. If there is an unknown crisis in the future ninja world, it will even require a strong man of the level of the future Naruto to fight against it. Then, as an Uchiha who has become a Hokage, he will naturally feel obligated to protect the village. If everyone knows the situation in advance, they can make preparations early. Future Sasuke nodded in agreement without hesitation. Even though he was not born by the mother in front of him, it doesn't make any difference. A mother is a mother, and her position in his heart will always be the most special. Besides, he knew that this was a lot of information for the current Uchiha. Besides, Sasuke also told him a lot of information. Although it was not of much use, it gave him some understanding of live streaming. The information provided by the Uchiha clan allowed the village to prepare early, so the credit should naturally go to the Uchiha, of course. But I don't know much about the situation at that time. Then he told the two of them everything he knew at the time. When he talked about what he saw, Mikado covered her mouth with her hands. Sasuke swallowed. One blow cut a moon in two. Doesn't it mean that cutting the earth in half is not impossible for that enemy named Otsutsuki Tonari? I never thought that there is such a powerful being living on the moon. Future Sasuke nodded and said, that guy did want to destroy the ninja world at that time. After both of them calmed down, the previous topic continued, and Mikado listened to the conversation between the two, but the worry in my heart lingered for a long time. Sasuke tells future Sasuke whatever he remembers the foreshadowed of Konoha village. Gaara, Indra and Ashura, Hoshirama and Madara, One Punch Sakura, Deidara's self-destruction, and even Kakashi's appearance. After that, Kakashi showed his face. He looked at future Sasuke with disdain. I didn't expect you had that side. Do you know what the title of that video is? Future Sasuke shook his head. Chapter 258. Staring back at him. Just as Sasuke was about to speak, future Sasuke interrupted him directly. What I mean is that I don't want to know. It's getting late, and we should go to bed. Go to bed early and get up early, and develop good habits. Sasuke groaned. This guy didn't want to listen, but he insisted on saying it. He told him to treat Peanut like that. The title is praising your cuteness. Mikado's eyebrows arched. Future Sasuke. Sasuke looked at his speechless expression with pride. Then, Sasuke said to him solemnly, but thank you, my future self. You didn't treat me like a child like Itachi on the screen did, and you didn't send me away for such an important matter, choosing to only talk to adults. Future Sasuke thought he was thinking too much. If there weren't live broadcasts in this world, the not-so-detailed information he mentioned would have been exposed by the live broadcasts sooner or later. He would never tell such important secrets as the Otsutsuki to anyone except the village leaders and his parents. Even if Itachi wanted to know, he would hold back. You're welcome. Late-night entrance of the Hokage building. The meeting had just ended and everyone except Fugaku was on their way home. Sarutobi rose in sight and said, I really can't bear to pass this matter to the next Hokage. Midamano sighed. Who says Naruto is the savior that most people recognize? There are too many people who like and recognize him, and an Uchiha alone cannot bear this responsibility. Especially, Naruto's current situation is unknown whether he's alive or dead. Not only the Uchiha can't bear it, if the matter is exposed, we old guys and the Uchiha together can't bear it, Utatane Kahoru said with emotion. That group of tourists from all over the ninja world is too crazy. The hotel outside the village has not been built yet. Even if they have to sleep in the open air, they are unwilling to leave without seeing Naruto. Sasuke and Guy. Shikoku twitched his lips. I doubt that even if Madara showed up, some of them would dare to ask for his autograph. My head hurts from thinking about it. I need to go home and have a good sleep so that I can have enough energy to deal with any emergencies. Uchiha Clanland Fugaku was on his way home. There will probably be more and more meetings in the next few days. The most important thing is the incident of Naruto's disappearance. Many people in the village knew that Naruto had been kidnapped, but they were all ordered to keep silent. Those who knew about it also understood how serious the consequences would be if it was exposed. Those who are in the know have personally experienced the abilities of the masked man. His strange ability in time and space is hard to guard against. As long as the other party wants to run, he won't even leave any trace of tracking. But most villagers are still kept in the dark if this matter were to be exposed by accident, not to mention the villagers in the village who are unaware of the situation. I'm afraid that the other 4 major countries, from the common people to the daimyo, and even the entire ninja world would be in an uproar and denounce Konoha together. No one wants to see such consequences. Fugaku raised his head and said with great nostalgia, the work of the police force is really easy. The second thing is to discuss the timing of the succession to the 5th generation. Should Fugaku succeed the 5th generation before the 5-Kage summit? Or after the 5-Kage summit? Even Fugaku supported the latter on this point. It's not that he doesn't want future Sasuke to see the moment when he succeeds as Hokage sooner, but if he succeeds as Hokage after the 5-Kage summit, then this 5-Kage summit will be attended by Shikaku, who is the acting Hokage. Letting the highly intelligent Shikaku negotiate with the Kages of other major ninja villages is the safest way for Konoha, which has lost Naruto at the 5-Kage summit. In addition to discussing the crisis in the ninja world and working together to find ways to nip future crises in the bud, the rest of the discussion will naturally revolve around Naruto and Sasuke's for dealing with these things. Fugaku doesn't think he's better than Shikaku. With all these miscellaneous things still in his mind, Fugaku pushed open the door. His usually serious face was now filled with fatigue. Sitting on the bed, Mikado seemed to be worried about something. When she saw Fugaku open the door and walk in, she stood up and walked over to take off her husband's coat. It's so dusty at night. Why don't you change your clothes before coming in? You're bringing dust into the room. Fugaku, who was in a daze, subconsciously asked, what? Who to trade with? Mikado hesitated. She looked down at her light pink pajamas and suggested, how about, switch with me? Fugaku finally came to his senses. Fugaku, sorry, I need to go take a shower first. Wait until after taking a shower. Fugaku returned to the room looking at Mikado, who was still sitting on the bed. He asked, why are you still awake so late? You don't have to wait for me. You still have to get up early tomorrow morning to make breakfast for the 2 children, although, one of the kids is old enough to be Mikado's younger brother, but in the eyes of the 2, even if Sasuke is older than them, he is still a child. Mikado slowly said. After dinner, the 2 children discussed the content of the previous live broadcast. Then, she told Fugaku about the information she heard from future Sasuke. After dinner, Fugaku had originally smiled when he heard the 2 children getting along so happily, until Mikado finished speaking. The smile on Fugaku's lips completely froze. My mind is a little confused. Those chaotic thoughts floated by like a barrage of comments. The enemy named Akatsuki Tonari can split the moon in half with one strike. Akatsuki Tonari, Akatsuki Haguramo, Akatsuki Indra. The shinobi period. The guy with this surname must be as old as the terracotta warriors, right? How powerful is that old monster, to split the moon in half with one strike? What amount of chakra is needed? That's Naruto's enemy. It was Naruto who finally defeated that terrifying guy. If something happens to Naruto, can Sasuke defeat such a guy by himself? Maybe. Sister Yonde, if you are still alive, can you please protect your son, Naruto? 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 Fugaku suddenly shuddered, and his originally groggy mind instantly became clear. Things are getting bigger at this moment. Even if the masked man was really Uchiha Madara, Fugaku felt that he had the courage to point at the other person's nose and scold him for being useless. It looks like another sleepless night. Sorry, Mikado, I'm afraid I'll have to stay in the Hokage building tonight. Mikado was stunned. She obviously didn't expect her husband to take it so seriously. Although this matter is not small, it will take several years after all. There's no need to be so anxious, right? Fugaku shook his head and said, for the ninja world, this is a disaster of annihilation level. No matter how serious it is, it cannot be overstated. Naruto's situation is unknown. If the matter is not resolved soon, all the pressure will be on Sasuke's small shoulders. Reality is reality, live broadcast is live broadcast, and Sasuke now is not as strong as he will be in the future. A moment later Fugaku walked out of the Uchiha clan territory with an expressionless face. The bath was in vain. It's not just the Konoha high-ups who are still awake. This lake country of grass Ghost Lantern City prison. The prisoners in prison here will have their chakra sealed inside a luxurious single-cell. Danzo, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground, opened his eyes and looked at the jailer who had been standing at the door for a long time. He glared at him and said, "What are you looking at? Do you think you can judge me by my standards?" The jailer glared back at him. A kaleidoscope of eyes emerges. Amaterasu. Chapter 259. The Debt Collector. Fugaku whispered as he walked, like a devil from hell coming to collect debts. Sarutobi Hirozen, and those two old guys, you guys shouldn't sleep tonight. Rain Country. Naruto's residence was dark. The real debt collector is sleeping soundly at this moment. Naruto suddenly scratched his butt a few times, smacked his lips, and turned over. I didn't wake up once during the sleep and slept very soundly before the live broadcast. Naruto had a hard time in Konoha village after the live broadcast. Everyone Naruto met in the Rain Country was very friendly to him, although he might be better off returning to Konoha now. The only thing is that the top leaders of Konoha are not having a good time, as they are always worried that the truth will be exposed. Fire Nation Muai Village. The Hokage building was brightly lit. Mirokato, with two dark circles under his eyes, said to Sarutobi Hirozen, "Monkey, lend me your pipe and take a couple of puffs to wake me up." Turning to bed, Zaichin looked worried. She was almost asleep. The next day when Shikaku walked into the Hokage's office, he couldn't help but exclaimed, "What's going on? Why are you here so early? We came back last night. The reason we didn't ask you to come back was that we needed you to have a clear mind after getting enough sleep." Shikaku seemed to have guessed something, and his expression became serious. "This day has come so soon? Since the fact that Naruto was abducted has been exposed, we should now urgently activate Plan A to deal with this matter." Midamanen waved his hand. "It's not about this." Sarutobi Hirozen looked melancholy. "If this continues, I, an old man, really can't bear it anymore. It's too big. The pressure is greater than ever before. Orochimaru, where's you, the traitor? Come to Konoha and kill me, the old man. Quick." Shikaku breathed a sigh of relief. "It would be better if this matter is not exposed." Then he asked curiously, "What happened?" Half an hour later there is a new Hokage deputy in the Hokage's office who pulls his pineapple hair hard. Rain Country. Konan looked at Naruto, who was trying to use the fierce wind palm outside, and said, "Naruto and those guys get along pretty well. Except for Kokuzu, who was willing to admit defeat because he dug out one of his own hearts, and that's why he was lukewarm towards Naruto." Pain. When this matter was mentioned, he could think of Naruto's reverse harem technique. He suspected that Zainin brought up this matter on purpose. He was an awakener of the Samsara Eye, and was also the child of destiny in the ninja world. But he actually caused his subordinate to lose a heart because of such a technique. At this moment, Pine suddenly spoke. "Someone is coming. This chakra is very familiar. It's Jiraiya-sensei again." Konan's expression changed. "Did you know that Naruto is here? It seems that this time, I have to go there myself." "I'll go. If they're really coming for Naruto, you can come forward." "Maybe. Sensei Jiraiya is here to buy an explosive talisman again." Pain could only nod and say, "I hope so." Seeing that Konan had left, Pain looked again at Naruto, who was practicing ninjutsu. He knew that Naruto's affairs with Akatsuki could not be kept secret forever. When they were exposed, Akatsuki might face siege from the entire ninja world. He had to think of a way to keep Naruto by his side reasonably. Moreover, in order to prevent the masked man from taking desperate measures, they cannot break off relations with that guy for the time being, but at the same time they have to be on guard against him kidnapping Naruto again. Not long Konan walked into the reception room, and as soon as he saw Jiraiya, he asked straight to the point, "How many detonating talismans do you want to buy this time?" Jiraiya touched his nose awkwardly. "Konan, look at what you said. Am I that kind of person? You should know me well. That's why I ask, because I understand." Jiraiya's mouth twitched and he got down to business. "I didn't come here to buy detonating talismans for Konoha." Jiraiya's eyes darkened slightly. "I want to ask, is that old guy Hanzo still alive?" Konan was stunned, obviously not expecting Jiraiya to ask that after 3 years of living together day and night. She knew Jiraiya's personality very well. Jiraiya wasn't the type to keep hatred on his lips, even if it is to avenge his own disciples. Maybe just want to understand the situation. For example, has the Rain Country fallen under Akatsuki's control? With Jiraiya's ability, it would not be difficult to investigate this. And there is no need for Konan to hide it. died at Nagato's hands. Hearing this, Jiraiya laughed twice, stood up and said, "It seems that you and Nagato don't need help anymore, so I should leave now. I hope you won't go astray again in the future. I believe Yahiko doesn't want to see you like this." After that, he turned and left. He really didn't want to be tainted by hatred, but as a teacher, how could he remain indifferent when his own disciple was forced to death? Now that he knew Hanzo was dead, his twisted mood finally improved a little. Jiraiya is a fool, but in this ninja world, fools always seem to be easily recognized by others. Konan told Nagato about this. Seeing Konan's increasingly guilty expression, Nagato remained silent. After a moment, he said, "Don't feel guilty, Konan. If there had been no live broadcast, when Jiraiya-sensei sneaked into the rain country in the future, I believe your original intention was just to persuade him to leave. After failing, it was me who finally decided to kill him." Somewhere in the ninja world, the masked man took out a bunch of bottles and jars from the scroll. What is contained inside are all the cells of those powerful people in the past of the ninja world. At this time, Baizetsu emerged from the ground and handed him the small jar in his hand as if offering a treasure. Although Kumagakure guarded it very strictly, I still managed to get the cells of the third Raikage, Aobito. The masked man looked at it gloomily. Baizetsu said awkwardly, "Master Madara." The masked man took the small jar and said, "Next, we need to obtain the impure world reincarnation technique," Zetsu said. The current Konoha village is on even tighter alert than usual. It seems that Naruto's abduction has sounded the alarm for them. The masked man said, "Then we can only get the jutsu from Orochimaru. Do you know where he is now?" Zetsu looked strange. "That guy's current location is in the Whirlpool country." The masked man's pupils constricted and he reacted instantly. The death mask that sealed the fourth Hokage. Damn it. At this rate, that guy might have 3 Hokage's impure world reincarnations in his hands. He's really a tough guy. White Zetsu spread his hands. Maybe there is a Kushina who can use sealing techniques infinitely. The masked man was silent for a moment, then he looked at Baizetsu. "Zep, do you think I can get the impure world reincarnation technique from Orochimaru by using the cells of the third Raikage?" Seeing him holding the jar, he looked like, "This is the strongest spear and the strongest shield." Listening to his words that came from his heart but were also wishful thinking, Baizetsu stretched out his claws tremblingly and touched the masked man's forehead. The touch is delicate and the material of the mask is good. Chapter 260. I can only ask you. Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan Land. Little Sasuke stuffed a rice ball in his mouth and asked vaguely, "Mom, did Dad leave so early?" Mikado smiled gently as usual. "Dad has been very busy lately." Future Sasuke was a little confused. Is it because of the live broadcast? There's a reason why Naruto has been busy since becoming Hokage. Just look at how prosperous Konoha will be in the future. There is nothing in the village now, and this can only be explained by the live broadcast. Future Sasuke seemed to remember something. "Oh, right, last night I mentioned Akatsuki Tonari. It would be better to solve this trouble as soon as possible. In a few years, that guy will be hard to deal with." Mikado was stunned. "Sasuke, are you saying that Akatsuki Tonari is easy to deal with now?" Future Sasuke nodded. "I didn't think too much about it last night. I just thought that since Mother asked, I would tell you about this matter. I just remembered that Akatsuki Tonari is also a big trouble for this ninja world. It would be best to solve it in advance." Little Sasuke asked doubtfully, "How easy is that guy to deal with now?" Future Sasuke thought of the double Magatama in his eye sockets and said, "He hasn't fused those eyes yet. He is currently just a child without eyes who can't see anything. Even you can defeat him." Sasuke said and didn't feel that he was being looked down upon. With a clang, the plate in Mikado's hand fell to the ground, and the food spilled all over the floor. "Wait, I need to go to the Hokage's office first." After saying that, she ran out in a hurry without even taking off her apron. Hokage building. The Hokage's office was filled with smoke, like a heavenly palace. Fugaku sat here, inhaling the second-hand smoke while processing documents without feeling any discomfort apparently. He's used to it. Fugaku used the document in his hand to fan away the smoke that blocked his vision, took out the next document, and read it numbly. Like an emotionless robot, even trivial matters require decisions from senior management. The document he was looking at was submitted by the police force. In the first sheet, he could see that Mr. Kai was being courted, and in the second sheet, he could see that it was a misunderstanding, that the attacker was willing to pay for the drunk's medical expenses, and other related information. The next picture shows some trouble caused outside Konoha village. Unable to make up their minds, they discussed solutions together. Dong dong. The knock on the door sounded. "Enter." The Anbu ninja helped Mikado open the door in an instant. A thick cloud of second-hand smoke hit me in the face. Seeing this super advanced mist-hidden silent assassination technique, Mikado quickly covered her mouth and nose and took a step back, but thinking that her husband was still inside. She gritted her teeth and went in. Seeing this, Fugaku stood up and opened the window, but in just a moment, the smoke in the room dissipated. Sarutobi Hirozen, whose head was smoking, extinguished his pipe, took a sip of tea, and moistened his throat, which had been nourished by the smoke. Looking at Mikado, who was still wearing an apron, Sarutobi Hirozen said in a tone that was neither happy nor sad, "It's Mikado. Did you hear some important information from Sasuke that made you so anxious? No matter how strong the storm is, he couldn't withstand it. He is used to it inside Konoha village." Kai looked at the Uchiha guard members in front of him, feeling inexplicably uneasy. "Did I commit a crime?" Several Uchiha clan members quickly waved their hands, with an unusually respectful attitude. No, Mr. Kai, we just want to ask you, can we practice taijutsu with you?" Hearing this, a big question mark appeared on Kai's forehead. "Don't you have the bloodline limit of the Sharingan? Why do you want to practice taijutsu?" The Uchiha standing in the front said sincerely, "We also want to help with the crisis in the ninja world, but the Sharingan is useless against a being like Madara, so we want to train with you." Kai hesitated. "It would be best to inform the Hokage about this matter. If the Hokage agrees, I would certainly be happy to have someone train with me." "It's settled." Several Uchiha clan members showed joy on their faces. "We will go find the Hokage now." Having said this, the Uchiha clan members bowed to Kai very respectfully. "Hokage building," Mikado said with a guilty look on her face. "I'm sorry, it's all my fault for telling Fugaku about this without asking clearly." Shikoku breathed a sigh of relief. "Overall, this is good news and a false alarm." Sarutobi Hirozen felt that most of the pressure on him was relieved. "It's not your fault. After hearing about the attack that can cut the moon in one blow, no one would have the heart to think so carefully." Then, out of the corner of his eye, he saw the two Hokage advisors winking at him. Sarutobi Hirozen smiled bitterly, but this is indeed the information the village wants to know most at the moment, so he still spoke shamelessly. "Mikado, can the village ask you for a favor?" Fugaku frowned subconsciously. Mikado could roughly guess that Sarutobi Hirozen's request was related to the future Sasuke. Mikado was a little embarrassed. "Is it related to Sasuke? As you know, Fugaku and I feel very guilty about him, so it's not easy to ask him to do something for the village. During the time he stays in this time and space, I just want to do my best to make up for the suffering he has suffered over the years." Although she and Fugaku are not the real parents of future Sasuke, if there were no live broadcast, the growth trajectory of Sasuke in this world would be the same as that of future Sasuke. Thinking of how much suffering Sasuke on the screen has gone through, they always feel guilty for not fulfilling their responsibilities as parents when facing the future Sasuke. Sarutobi Hirozen shook his head and said, "I'm not asking Sasuke to look for Naruto for the village. We just need one piece of information, and that is the true identity of the masked man. Mikado, you and Fugaku are the only ones who are best suited to ask Sasuke about this matter. I don't think he will refuse. You also know how much of an impact Naruto's abduction has had on the village." Mikado looked at Fugaku, somewhat bewildered. Fugaku closed his eyes. This is true, but out of guilt towards Sasuke, it was difficult for him to ask future Sasuke for the information he needed, even though he knew Sasuke wouldn't say no. Looking at Fugaku's expression, Mikado already knew his answer. Kaoru frowned. "The one who kidnapped Naruto was originally from the Uchiha clan." Sarutobi Hirozen stuffed the pipe into her mouth. Even though it was for the village to achieve its desired goal, wasn't speaking like that just causing more trouble and creating conflict between the village and the Uchiha? Mikado's eyes dimmed. "What Kaoru said is right. The culprit of the Nine Tails Rebellion, the person who killed the fourth Hokage and his wife and kidnapped Naruto, was a member of the Uchiha clan who awakened the main Gekai of Sharingan." Mikado lowered her head. "I understand. I will ask Sasuke when I get back." Sarutobi Hirozen apologized. "I'm sorry. Mikado, I can only leave this matter to you. Only by knowing the true identity of the masked man can the village find a way to find him as soon as possible and have a chance to take Naruto back from him." Although Itachi was very reliable in his eyes, there was still a possibility of failure. Chapter 261 Confidence. Uchiha clan land. After Mikado left, the two Sasukes finished their meal. Little Sasuke began to clean up the food that fell on the ground, then stepped on a stool to clean the dishes, and then went to the training ground with future Sasuke. Young Sasuke looked at future Sasuke with a suspicious look on his face. "You are not refusing to build an arm with Hashirama cells just because you don't want to do housework, right? As expected of the future me, I always think about the long term." Future Sasuke, I didn't think too much about it. I just wanted to atone for my sins. Little Sasuke shook his head. I don't think you have done anything wrong, and I heard my father say that your path is the most correct, more reliable than the Genjutsu of Indra and Madara. The path you choose will bring more long-term peace than Naruto. Future Sasuke just smiled and said, now I cherish the peace brought by Naruto, and I will do my best to protect this peace. On the road, the two met Uchiha Takuma, who was on his way to the village to help an old lady cross the road. When he got closer, Future Sasuke recalled, you are Takuma-san. Uchiha Takuma's body trembled, flattered. Hey? Lord Sasuke still remembers me. Future Sasuke was silent for a moment, then smiled and said, of course I remember. I haven't forgotten most of the members of the clan, but their appearances are a little blurry. Hearing the words of Future Sasuke, Uchiha Takuma could clearly feel his heart twitch. Itachi, that bastard, is not a human being. Future Sasuke also found this topic a bit heavy, and wanted to change the subject. He asked in confusion, Brother Takuma, there is something I have always felt strange about. Can you explain it to me? Uchiha Takuma laughed heartily and said, of course that's no problem, just ask, why would the village give a clan the chance to become Hokage? Even having a live broadcast is an impossible thing, right? Do you know the reason? Hearing his words, little Sasuke beside him also said in confusion, yes. The clan wanted a coup before, there is no reason for the village to give the clan a chance to become Hokage. Although he was young, he could still see how illogical this matter was. Think differently after Uchiha became Hokage. The Hyuga clan wanted to stage a coup. No matter what the reason was, they would not give the Hyuga clan a chance to become Hokage, right? Doesn't that mean that the village and the Uchiha clan have surrendered to the Hyuga clan who wanted to stage a coup? Uchiha Takuma recalled the elder's analysis, and his expression froze for a moment. When the Uchiha clan holds a meeting, usually only the elites attend, so not many clan members know about this matter. Uchiha Takuma looked around and said, it's better if fewer people know about this. If you are curious, I'll explain it to you in a place where no one is around. Future Sasuke nodded, activated the power of the Rinnegan, and a black hole appeared in front of him. Follow me. Having said that, he walked in first with full of arrogance. Little Sasuke followed closely behind with a curious look on his face. Uchiha Takuma walked up to the black hole, poked it with his hand, but didn't feel anything unusual, as if he had poked the air. He walked in with a look of curiosity on his face. After walking out of the black hole, Uchiha Takuma looked around and exclaimed, is this the power of the Samsara? It's amazing. He actually arrived outside the Konoha village in an instant. Future Sasuke closed his eyes and sensed for a moment, then opened his eyes. Is this place okay? There's no one around. Uchiha Takuma nodded. He looked at little Sasuke, and said seriously, Sasuke-sama, after you hear what I am going to say, you must keep it to yourself and don't tell anyone, otherwise there will be serious consequences. Little Sasuke nodded solemnly, I understand. Don't worry, I will never tell anyone. Uchiha Takuma closed his eyes and his tone was very heavy. This matter begins with Naruto being kidnapped by the masked man. Sasuke was stunned, thinking he had heard wrongly. What? Naruto was kidnapped by the masked man? Will he be okay? Future Sasuke's pupils suddenly shrank. How could this happen? Uchiha Takuma nodded and said, that was what happened after the first live broadcast. The live broadcast only revealed that the ninja world would be in crisis in the future, and Naruto would be the savior in the future. Although the village attached great importance to Naruto at that time, it was also limited. As he explains, little Sasuke was furious, the village has gone too far. It was because the village did not pay enough attention to Naruto that the masked man had the opportunity to capture Naruto. As a result, because they could not bear the consequences, they dragged the whole clan into the water. No wonder the Yamanaka clan withdrew from the Hokage election. This is clearly a pit of fire. Even if you become Hokage, it will be a thankless job. Future Sasuke rubbed his brows with a headache. There is such a hidden story behind the Uchiha becoming the candidate for Hokage. Naruto was lost, and the entire ninja world knows how important Naruto is. Just think about it and you will know that the consequences are far beyond what the Uchiha can bear. Uchiha Takuma smiled bitterly and said, whether it is the masked man who kidnapped Naruto or the future ninja crisis Madara-sama, they are all members of the clan. The village leaders initially wanted to throw this matter to the clan to deal with it, but for some reason, the leaders are not letting it go now. Although the top leaders are still willing to share the pressure with the Uchiha, the clan members who know about it are now regretting it very much. If we had known this, We should have stayed away from the position of Hokage. Fortunately, there was no coup, otherwise if it really succeeded, the position of Hokage would not be as simple as a simple fire pit. It's like, one husky facing one wolf is a danger, but 5 huskies facing one wolf, at least it can last for a while, then feed the other person to death. Little Sasuke seemed to feel that he had matured all of a sudden. It turns out that the pressure in their adult world is so great, but, Uchiha Takuma suddenly smiled. It's not entirely true to say that the clan has no confidence to deal with this matter. Hearing this, future Sasuke was thoughtful, but he couldn't say it, otherwise he would be suspected of bragging. Seeing the puzzled look on little Sasuke's face, Uchiha Takuma's eyes were filled with fanaticism. The foundation of the clan is you, Lord Sasuke. Little Sasuke's petite body trembled. As long as you are here, our clan will have the confidence to face all difficulties. Looking at Uchiha Takuma's fanatical look, little Sasuke's delicate body trembled again at this moment. He seemed to understand his own importance better at this moment. Countless powers emerged from his small body. He wants to become stronger. He must live up to the trust and respect of his people. Future Sasuke said, "Don't worry about Naruto's safety. As long as Uchiha Obito is not a fool, Naruto will be fine." Chapter 262. It's Uchiha Obito. If Sasuke is the backbone of the Uchiha clan, then Naruto is the trump card in Obito's hand, a trump card that can make the entire ninja world dare not act rashly facing Kaguya. As long as either him or Naruto is gone, even if the entire ninja world is combined, it will not be enough for Kaguya to defeat them with one hand. But future Sasuke would never have imagined that Uchiha Kenji would give the trump card to Nagato without even thinking about it. But the difference is that Naruto can become the trump card in Obito's hand because he will use Naruto's life to threaten the ninja world, making the ninja world dare not act rashly. Nagato will do his best to teach Naruto to become stronger and entrust the peace of the ninja world to Naruto. When Uchiha Takuma heard the words of future Sasuke, his pupils shocked. What is this Obito you're talking about? Didn't he die in the Third Shinobi World War? Of course he had a deep impression of Obito. Not only him, but almost all the clan members had a deep impression of him. Whenever you see or think of Kakashi, you will think of his Sharingan, and naturally you will think of Obito who gave his eye to Kakashi. Future Sasuke asked, "Hasn't the live broadcast exposed that guy's true identity yet, Master Sasuke? Are you saying that the masked man is Uchiha Obito?" Uchiha Takuma's face was a little distorted. "That guy is not Madara-sama after all." Future Sasuke said, "Indeed it is, Sasuke-sama. This information is extremely important to Lord Fugaku. I need to report this to him as soon as possible." Future Sasuke nodded in understanding. Hokage building Sarutobi Hiruzen said, "We can handle Otsutsuki Tonari by ourselves. We just need to find a way to get to the moon." Fugaku, you haven't been able to spend much time with Sasuke from the future these past 2 days. In that case, Fugaku should go back with Mikado and take a good rest to get enough energy. There have been a lot of things to do recently and it has been very busy. It takes several people to process the documents every day. Fugaku knew that Sarutobi Hiruzen had temporarily let him go as a tool because of his guilt. He didn't hesitate. He nodded and stood up and walked out of the Hokage's office with Mikado on the streets of Konoha village. Uchiha Takuma was traveling very fast, and the Hokage building was not far ahead. Out of habit, he helped an old lady who had difficulty walking back home. There are a lot of people on the street. They could see this scene almost every day, and after so many days, their attitude towards Uchiha had changed a lot. For Uchiha Takuma, helping old ladies cross the road has become a habit, and he has long forgotten the original intention of changing the family's image in the eyes of the villagers. In the beginning, no one recognized him. Even though he was trying to help with good intentions, some villagers would stay away from him with disgust, saying that they did not need the help of Uchiha people in order to prevent his family from falling into the fire pit of becoming Hokage. He had to endure the humiliation, be thick-skinned, and grit his teeth to help this group of ignorant villagers. But now, everything is different. Many villagers have greeted him with kindness. After seeing him, it felt like he had conquered these people. Addictive. So addictive. Uchiha Takuma has already experienced the joy of being recognized by people that Naruto will feel in the future. He announced that all the old ladies with mobility problems on this street were his. It is hard to imagine that just a short time ago, he was still a radical. In the Uchiha clan entrance of the Hokage building, Uchiha Takuma ran into Fugaku and Mikado who had just walked out. Takuma, before Fugaku could ask, Uchiha Takuma, who was breathing heavily, spoke up, "Sir Fugaku, I learned the true identity of the masked man from Sasuke-sama." In the Hokage's office, the four of them looked at Fugaku who had come back. with a puzzled look on their faces. Midman looked relieved. Fugaku is a hard-working person. Although his mental state was not good, he came back anyway because he knew there were still so many documents to be processed. Sarutobi Hirozen asked, "Did you drop something here and come back to get it?" Fugaku got straight to the point. "The masked man's identity is Uchiha Obito." "4 people, you've finished asking questions so quickly. Are you possessed by Minato, or did you run into Sasuke by chance when you went out?" Sarutobi Hirozen looked incredulous. "Obito? How is that possible?" Fugaku's face was serious, and he said in a deep voice, "Since we already know his true identity, do you want to send the Anbu to hunt him down?" "No. Naruto is still in his hands, we can't alert him." Shikoku frowned and thought, it would be best to think of a way to lure Uchiha Obito out. The weakness of his time and space ability has not been analyzed yet, so force is not an option. "Fugaku, could you please ask Sasuke what Uchiha Obito's weaknesses are? This way we can make a response plan. I believe he should know something about it in the future." Fugaku pondered for a moment and said, "Of course I can, but I have a condition. I need to take a few days off, and Sasuke can only stay in this time and space for a month." Shikoku nodded and said, "Of course, we can understand." Hyuga clan looking at Hinata and Hanabi fighting back and forth in front of him, Boruto whispered to Neji who was sitting next to him, "Uncle, I heard that Grandpa was very serious when he was young. How come I didn't see that?" Ningxi, who was only 7 years old, was speechless for a moment, and then he spoke in a low voice, "It's just that I can't be serious in front of you, because Uncle likes you very much, but I'm still very curious about how serious Uncle looks." With that said, Boruto stood up and ran towards Hayashi who was sitting cross-legged not far away. He wanted to make his grandfather serious and satisfy his curiosity. Hearing footsteps, Hayashi opened his eyes. "Boruto, did you miss Grandpa? Come and let Grandpa hug you." Boruto slammed on the brakes. Somewhere in the ninja world, Obito, wearing a mask, was walking on the road this trip, to find Orochimaru. At this moment, a white Zetsu had popped out from the ground. "Master Madara, I got a message." Obito stopped by. Zetsu continued, "The tourists outside Konoha village discussed with each other, saying that in order to live up to their love, Sasuke has agreed to leave the village to meet them." Obito turned around and walked towards Konoha. "In that case, let's find a chance to take Sasuke away. But this time, I want to hold Sasuke firmly in my hands until the day when the moon dream is completed." He admitted that he was hasty in sending Naruto to Akatsuki before he regretted it beyond measure, but now, a new opportunity lies before him. He wanted to seize this opportunity. White Zetsu hesitated and said, "Master Madara, could this be a conspiracy by Konoha village to lure you out? After all, they still believe that Naruto is in your hands." Obito's eyes were full of mystery. "As long as I use the transformation technique to blend into the crowd, even if it is really a conspiracy of Konoha village, I can forcibly take Sasuke away with my Kamui." Chapter 263-52. After walking a few steps, Obito's figure disappeared, and he used the eye technique to directly arrive at the gate of Konoha village. Even Obito felt a little shocked when he saw the densely packed crowds around him. "The people here are like dumplings, constantly pouring food into the pot. I wonder how many people from all over the ninja world are on their way to Konoha. They are different from those lustful and fearful people who boasted that they would go to the rain country to confess their love to Zion, and they really came." Obito listened to noisy discussions of the people around him. "Is this true? Sasuke is really going to come out to see us tomorrow morning? And he said we can take a photo together? Who spread this?" "I don't know who spread this, but I think it's reasonable that Sasuke came out to meet us and take pictures with us because he didn't want to disappoint our love." "Oh no. I came in such a hurry that I forgot to buy the camera. I'm afraid you can't buy it in the land of fire. Those shops don't have it in stock. I went to see it too, and all the cameras were sold out." At this moment, a fellow with shifty eyes raised the corner of his mouth and took out a wooden sign because of its conspicuous location. The sign was quickly discovered. Someone read the sign, "Help me take group photos and have them developed. 5,000 taels per photo. After paying, take the ticket. You can exchange it for the photo opportunity and photos later." 5,000 taels? Why don't you just go and rob? The shifty-looking fellow curled his lips and said, "It's up to you to buy or not. If you miss this opportunity, you'll never see it again. Let me make it clear first, the film in my camera can only produce 100 photos. It's first come, first served. I don't accept bargaining, damn it." This guy was well prepared. "My camera can only print 5 photos. My heart aches. The opportunity to make a fortune was right in front of me, but I didn't seize it." At this time, Some people began to sell their extra film, some sold for 4,000 taels, and some sold for 3,000 taels. However, due to insufficient preparation and the lack of receipt, people around him felt a little worried by that time. You won't even know whether you have paid the money or not, which is always a bit unsafe, but 5,000 taels is just a photo. Just when many people were hesitating, Obito's eyes flickered. He already had the picture in his mind in the scene, when he was taking a photo with Sasuke. He suddenly attacked and kidnapped Sasuke. Spend 5,000 taels and you'll get a chance to easily take Sasuke away. This is worth it to him. Thinking of this, Obito used the transformation jutsu and walked over to line up. Soon, it was Obito's turn. Obito paid without hesitation and received a receipt. He put the receipt away carefully. Seeing that quite a few people were already queuing up, people around rushed over, fearing that there would be no spots left soon. All 100 places were sold out. Someone shouted in dissatisfaction, "That's it? Did I wait in line for nothing? By the way, aren't you the boss of the film store in the far country? Why did you only bring so little?" The sly fellow happily put away the money and then said, "It is precisely because there are only 100 that I dare to sell it for 5,000 taels. If I brought more, would you still be willing to spend 5,000 taels to buy a photo?" The man who was shouting loudly pretended to think, "That's true, but we can't wait in line for so long for nothing. Let's go back and get some more. No matter how much you bring, I've already spent 5,000 taels to buy it." Those who were still queuing also felt that it would be a shame if they came all the way here without taking a photo with Sasuke and then go back. The shifty-looking vendor looked embarrassed. Someone immediately echoed, "Aren't you the boss of a film store? Then why are you still dithering? It's only 5,000 taels. We've come all the way here. What's the harm in gritting our teeth and spending the 5,000 taels? Yes, we came all the way here, originally intending to see Naruto, Sasuke and Emperor Kai in person, but when we got here we realized that we couldn't see them at all. Now that we have the opportunity, of course we have to take a photo before we go back. Boss, please, go back and get it quickly. Who knows when Sasuke will come out to see us?" The vendor gritted his teeth and said, "You said so. No matter how many rolls of film I bring back, you are willing to pay 5,000 taels for it. No bargaining allowed, no haggling, no bargaining. Go ahead." The vendor looked at the man who had been shouting loudly before and said to him, "Come over and help me carry the film. I'll give you a discount of 1,000 taels. How about that, eh? I can get a discount of 1,000 taels for helping you carry something." The vendor waved his hands impatiently and said, "We don't need too many people. How many people do you expect to be willing to spend 5,000 taels to buy a photo?" Muai village Uchiha clan land. Fugaku and future Sasuke sat side by side on a bench not far away. Little Sasuke seemed to have endless energy. After practicing ninjutsu, he practiced throwing techniques, and after practicing throwing techniques, he started practicing taijutsu. How could future Sasuke refuse Fugaku's request? Future Sasuke recalled all his memories about Obito. It starts from the time when he also thought Obito as Madara when Obito declared war on the ninja world at the 5 Kage summit, and then he became the 10 Tails Jinchuriki. Speaking of the latter part, future Sasuke's eyes also had some complicated expressions. If I remember correctly, that guy's childhood dream was also to become a Hokage. During the 4th Ninja World War, he saw Naruto risking his life to protect his companions time and time again, and saw everyone in the ninja world unite to fight against him and Madara. I think, at that time, he had already begun to waver in his heart. Later, the ninjas worked together to extract the 10 tails from his body. At that time, although he was shaken, he still had illusions about that illusion world and had not completely given up. Next, he wanted to finish off the enemy, but Kakashi got there first. Just when Kakashi was about to kill Obito, he was stopped by the 4th Hokage. The 4th Hokage asked Kakashi to have a good talk with Obito, and eventually Obito was persuaded by Kakashi and wanted to use the reincarnation technique to resurrect all the people who died in the war. However, something unexpected happened and his body was controlled by Black Zetsu, who resurrected Madara through the impure world reincarnation when fighting against Kaguya, the founder of Chakra. Obito saved him once using his own space-time abilities when fighting with Kaguya. He was transferred to an unknown space by Kaguya. Obito forcibly used the Mangekyo to open one space after another, and finally found him, giving him the opportunity to use the power of the sky and Sakura's code to exchange positions and escape from the unknown space. Although he may be able to come out on his own once he becomes familiar with the Rinnegan, it will take time. Maybe during that time, they had already been defeated one by Kaguya. Then, Obito used his body to block Kaguya's killing ash bones for Naruto, and also used his time and space ability to save Kakashi, who was standing in front of him after Obito died. He lent his Sharingan to Kakashi, allowing Kakashi to use his hollowness and space-time abilities to hurt Kaguya, which created an opportunity for him and Naruto to seal Kaguya. At this point, future Sasuke looked at the shocked Fugaku and said, "After this, it will be the battle between Naruto and I in the Valley of the End." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 264. Obito is still alive. Thank you, that's too polite. Father. Hearing future Sasuke's words, Fugaku suppressed the complex feelings in his heart and put on a smile on his face. That's right. Between father and son, why should we thank each other? A smile also appeared on future Sasuke's face. Sasuke, wait for me to tell those guys about this information first. After all, Kaguya, the ancestor of chakra, actually put you and Naruto in danger several times. This is really too shocking. I believe this will also become the focus of discussion among the villages during the 5-Kage summit. I have asked for a few days off. I don't need to go to the Hokage building to familiarize myself with government affairs before the 5-Kage summit. In the next few days, I will guide Sasuke's training with you. Future Sasuke was startled, then smiled and said, "Okay, Hokage building." After listening to Fugaku's story, Sarutobi Hiruzen began to touch his pipe. Shikaku rubbed his temple. A moment later, the familiar smell of second-hand smoke spread throughout the Hokage's office. Mizuto Menen's face was full of worry. The ancestor of chakra, if it weren't for Naruto and Sasuke, the entire ninja world might have been destroyed. It's Obito. Since Kakashi was the one who convinced him to do this in the future, it seems like it's best to give this mission to Kakashi, but there are many prerequisites. The current Uchiha Obito cannot be convinced by just a few words from Kakashi. Although he helped a lot in the battle against the chakra ancestor, he still had to pay the price for the Nine Tails Rebellion and the death of the fourth Hokage and his wife. So Madara is already dead? Then as long as we prevent him from being reincarnated by the impure world reincarnation, the future of the ninja world will have one less big trouble. It looks like we have to have a good talk with Orochimaru, Shikaku said with a serious expression. The most important thing right now is to find Uchiha Obito. No matter what method is used, we must find out the whereabouts of Naruto. This concerns the safety of the entire ninja world. Anyway, let's call Kakashi first. As he said this, Sarutobi Hiruzen called the Anbu outside Konoha village. Obito knew that Sasuke would not appear until tomorrow morning, so he naturally would not wait here foolishly. He wanted to find a hotel in the Fire Country, but all were fully booked at this time. A white Zetsu emerged from the ground. "Master Madara, I heard that you spent 5,000 taels to buy a chance to take a photo with Sasuke." "That's right. The closer we are, the more confident I will be able to take Sasuke away." Zetsu asked, "Could it be a scam?" Obito looked at it darkly. "Are you calling me stupid? He has never been cheated by anyone." Baiju hesitated and said, "Then, could it be a high-end scam that even smart people would fall for?" Obito was a little impatient. "No. If there's nothing important, don't bother me here. That guy doesn't look like a liar." At that time, several people were afraid of being cheated, so they left with that person. It is to prevent the other party from running away with the money. "I'm here to report Orochimaru's movements." Muai Village Hokage's office. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Kakashi in front of him and said, "Kakashi, I hope you can remain calm after hearing this news." Kakashi was a little confused. "What news could make it difficult for you to stay calm?" "I think should not be. What kind of storms and waves has he not seen over the years?" "Don't worry, Sandaime-sama. I can control my emotions," Sarutobi Hiruzen slowly said. "Uchiha Obito is still alive." Hearing this, Kakashi's mind buzzed, and then went blank. "Sandaime-sama, what did you just say?" "Obito, how could it be possible? I saw it with my own eyes, but what if he's really not dead?" After all, he didn't see Obito die with his own eyes, so Obito should have been rescued by someone at that time, but because he lost half of his body and became disabled, he couldn't return to the village. Kakashi's heart ached at the thought. An image emerged in his mind. In order to return to the village, Obito, who only had one hand and one foot left, had to lie on the ground and twist his body towards the village little by little, or crawl like a snail. Rain or shine, Obito never gave up. Many years have passed. Finally, Obito returned to the village with his strong willpower. The mental picture in Kakashi was filled with self-blame and bitterness. He should have gone back to take a closer look. I don't know if Obito will blame him for not protecting Rin, having experienced so much wind, frost, snow and rain, and having witnessed Rin's death. Perhaps we will never again see the smile on Obito's face that only a cheerful boy could have, but as long as Obito is still alive, it's fine. Kakashi's eyes sparkled with hope. Third Sama, where is Obito? Is he with the Uchiha clan or in the Konoha hospital? Sarutobi Hiruzen took a puff of his pipe. He also wanted to know where Obito was, but he knew that Kakashi seemed to have misunderstood something. Shikaku sighed. Kakashi, don't get excited. Just listen to what the Sandaime has to say first. After hearing what Shikaku said, Kakashi seemed to realize that something was wrong. He took a deep breath, calmed himself down, and then looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. The mysterious masked man who released the Nine Tails and attacked the village 6 years ago was Uchiha Obito? This reversal made Kakashi unable to react for a moment. He simply couldn't believe what he heard. What? This is impossible. Sandaime-sama, you know Obito's character well. How could he do such a thing? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Kakashi and sighed. It's really hard to believe that the kind-hearted child did such a thing, but this is the truth. The future Sasuke will not lie to Fugaku. Fugaku would not deceive them about such an important matter. Sarutobi Hiruzen slowly said, at this point, there is no need to hide it from you, because the person who can make Obito change his mind in the future is you. The masked man is Obito's business. It was revealed by Sasuke from the future, so it can't be false. Kakashi, Uchiha clan land. Fugaku had just returned home. As if he remembered something, he asked future Sasuke with a strange look on his face. I remember that Obito was very kind when he was a child. How could he suddenly become like that? Even if he opened the main Gekkai Sharingan, he wouldn't suddenly change so much, right? Do you know what the reason is? Future Sasuke shook his head. I only know that he was used by Madara. Fugaku sighed. This is also very important information. I forgot to ask before. Now that I know it, I may have to go back. For Obito's difficult space-time ability, attacking his mind is the most appropriate method. Future Sasuke. At this moment, looking at Fugaku was like looking at the reincarnation of the tram of his era. Seeing Fugaku turning around and about to leave, future Sasuke hurriedly called him, Father, please think about whether there is anything else you missed and ask them all at once. Fugaku rubbed his dizzy head. He thought about it carefully. I couldn't come up with anything. Chapter 265 Being Cheated. Hokage building. After listening to Sarutobi Hiruzen's story, Kakashi murmured in a low voice, Obito, who did such a thing, is not hopeless. He saved Sasuke, and saved me with his own life. He also lent me the main Gekkai Sharingan, which created a perfect opportunity to defeat the chakra progenitor. There are merits and there are faults, but can the merits and faults offset each other? Kakashi's mind flashed with the faces of his teacher and his wife, and he clenched his fists. This is not a multiple-choice question, but what he wanted to do most now was to find Obito and ask him clearly. Leave the task of finding Obito and convincing him to me, Lord Sandaime. Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could speak, Fugaku walked in. There is one important thing I forgot to mention. The reason why Uchiha Obito became like that was because he was used by Madara. Well, he just forgot to say it, not that he forgot to ask before. Just then, there was a knock on the door. Enter. The Anbu walked over to the desk and handed the intelligence scroll in his hand to Shikaku. Seeing that Shikaku had a solemn and complicated expression after opening the intelligence scroll, Fugaku was no longer in a hurry to leave. Shikaku looked at Fugaku with complicated eyes. Then, when he looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, his expression became more complicated. Danzo is dead. In the field, only Kakashi was still immersed in Fugaku's words. Whether Danzo was dead or alive had little to do with him. Danzo is dead. So Obito did that because he was used by Madara? How could he do such a cruel thing? They are the teacher and his wife. Sarutobi Hiruzen's brain froze for a moment. He prepared for a rainy day and sent Danzo to the Ghost Lantern prison for protection early on, but he didn't expect that Danzo still died. How did you die? Shikaku said. The Lord of Gui Lantern City, Wu Wei, said that there was only a pile of ashes left in Danzo's cell. He learned from the jailer that before Danzo was burned to ashes, he let out a painful roar, and the roar was 1 against 7. When the jailer arrived, the man was already dead. Even the execution step was skipped and cremation was carried out directly. It burned so fast it is Amaterasu without a doubt. Fugaku frowned deeply and shouted angrily, how could Itachi do such a thing? After all, Danzo was once a village elder and a high-ranking official. He is so lawless. Hearing his words, Sarutobi Hiruzen was speechless, but he was too lazy to pay attention to Fugaku. He asked himself in his mind, did he have the right to blame Itachi for killing Danzo? For the sake of the village's stability, Itachi was able to make up his mind to exterminate his own clan. However, he wanted to save Danzo's life and ignored the discontent among the Uchiha clan. The reason why Uchiha's negative emotions towards Danzo have not yet erupted is purely for the sake of Sasuke's future. After all, anyone can see that future Sasuke has feelings for the village. Most of these feelings come from Naruto and his family. After the third live broadcast ends, future Sasuke will leave. And what is coming will still come. The Uchiha clan will definitely find a way to kill Danzo. Itachi did this for the stability of the village. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt that as the third Hokage of Konoha village, he had no right to blame Itachi for doing such a thing. Udatane Kaoru and Midakato and are criticizing Itachi. Fugaku nodded seriously, as if what they said was right. The person is dead anyway. Only when Fugaku became impatient did he leave the Hokage's office. Uchiha clan land. Seeing Fugaku returning to the clan once again, the two guards asked in confusion, Master Fugaku seems very happy. It seems that it is more difficult to hide happiness than joy. Time soon came to the next day. Konoha village entrance. Where is Sasuke? Why hasn't Sasuke come out yet? That guy from yesterday hasn't come back yet. Were we being tricked? Damn it. That guy must be a liar. Otherwise he should have come back last night. Oh. Never mind. 5,000 taels is 5,000 taels. As long as I can see Sasuke today, I will be satisfied. I feel so dirty. I haven't even washed my face since I left home and came to Konoha. Nunabito's chest was heaving violently and his face looked extremely ugly. Was he really cheated? Was he cheated out of 5,000 taels by a small fry? At this moment, he suddenly figured out a lot of things. The fact that Sasuke hasn't come out yet proves that this didn't happen at all. These were all rumors spread in advance by the liar yesterday as part of his plan. Yes, Naruto was taken away by him. How could Konoha and the Uchiha clan let Sasuke take risks? That is to say, those who left with the scammer yesterday were all agents. Even if some of them are not hired as agents, they may have met with misfortune or have been bribed with money. Obito took out a note worth 5,000 taels in a fit of anger. He got angry. Forget it. I'll just take this lesson as a warning. I won't be fooled again. After saying that, Obito put the receipt away again. At this time someone shouted in dissatisfaction, I understand that Naruto and Sasuke can't see me. After all, they don't have the strength to protect themselves yet, but what's wrong with letting Emperor Kai come out to see us? Are you in Konoha village afraid that something will happen to Emperor Kai? Someone rushed directly to the gate of Konoha village and complained to Izumo and Zatetsu, who were guarding the gate inside the barrier. Did you hear that? Are you Konoha people afraid that something will happen to Emperor Kai? That's Emperor Kai. All of us combined are not even enough to hide him. What on earth are the leaders of your village worried about? Izumo and Zatetsu looked at each other and sighed at the same time. The village did not restrict Kai's personal freedom. What happened at the gate of Konoha village was not a big deal, but from other perspectives, it's not small. 5,000 taels, 100 copies, add up to only 500,000 taels for Konoha village. 500,000 Ryo is just a bounty for an A-level to S-level mission, but there are some black-hearted scammers who use the fact that Sasuke will go out to meet them as an excuse to commit fraud. I was happily waiting to meet Sasuke, and I was willing to spend 5,000 taels to buy a photo. The result gave us hope. But what came was disappointment. Even though it was a liar who used Sasuke's name, this disappointment would affect Sasuke himself, because the object of hope and disappointment was Sasuke. And many people knew this. Hokage building, several people are discussing countermeasures since this concerns Sasuke's reputation. Fugaku also takes it very seriously. He was a little hesitant, but still suggested, why not let Sasuke go out for a while? Sarutobi Hiruzen rejected this proposal without a second thought. No. Facing Obito's space-time ability, even if we guard him strictly, it won't be of much use. Yes, the village must protect Sasuke. I think it would be better to let Kai take charge of this matter. Perhaps it would be best to let Kale dispel the suppressed dissatisfaction in the hearts of those outside the village. If he had the ability, the masked man would have kidnapped Kai as well. Sarutobi Hiruzen called the Anbu and ordered, go get Kai. Yes. Sandaime-sama. Chapter 266, Iden number 039, S1 verses 5. After Kai arrived at the Hokage's office, Sarutobi Hiruzen explained the situation to him and then said, Kai, if this matter is very difficult for you, we can think of another way. Kai looked serious. Sasuke is too important to the village and the ninja world. For Sasuke, it's for the village and the ninja world. Since it's for the village, leave this matter to me. After leaving the Hokage building, Kai did not hesitate and walked directly out of the village. Behind him were several Uchiha flower guarding messengers outside Konoha village. When Kai walked out of the gate of Konoha village, the noisy noise suddenly became much quieter. Someone noticed something was wrong and looked towards the point where everyone's attention was focused. At this glance, they seemed to see the goddess they had been thinking about day and night. The crowd was silent for a moment. Immediately the scene was completely out of control. Emperor Kai. It's Emperor Kai. You're finally willing to come out. This trip was worth it, Kai Wang. You are my idol, Aho. Emperor Kai. Kick me, Kai. If we use a metaphor to describe the scene before our eyes, you disturbed a group of witches. The Uchiha clan members were facing a formidable enemy. They also knew that they couldn't use force to protect Kai in this situation, so they could only use their bodies to protect Kai in the middle. This may be the most unforgettable day for Kai in recent years. With so many people affirming and recognizing him, he was naturally happy, but he couldn't resist the excessive enthusiasm of these tourists who saw him, and even his rock-hard heart inevitably felt a hint of fear. It is of course impossible to take a photo with everyone. It will take forever. Finally, after Kai's earnest persuasion, some people were finally willing to leave. Someone among the remaining people suddenly shouted, "Look! Isn't that Kakashi? He's leaving Konoha?" Everyone around looked over. Kakashi accepted the mission to find Obito. Kakashi was horrified when he saw the disheveled guy and the Uchiha clan members not far away, and a group of people rushing towards him. Kakashi-sensei, I want a picture. Kakashi-sensei, I want a picture. Can I take a picture with you without makeup? I just want an autograph. Don't run. Kai breathed a sigh of relief and bowed to the remaining tourists. Thank you very much for your likes. Thank you very much. If my father saw that so many people recognized him, he would definitely be very happy, right? And the Uchiha people also discovered a fact. It turns out that I am also very popular, although it is because of his identity as a descendant of the six-path sage. Not far from the whirlpool, Count a space vortex appeared before Orochimaru and his group. Obito's figure emerged. Orochimaru, let's make a deal. Orochimaru licked his lips and said, make a deal with me? Apart from your main Gekyo Sharingan, I am not interested in anything else. Obito narrowed his eyes and said gloomily, so, there's nothing to talk about. Orochimaru took out the scroll with a bang. 4 coffins appeared in front of him. The numbers 1, 2, 4 in a spiral pattern are printed on it. Seeing it with his own eyes still made Obito's eyelids twitch. Orochimaru smiled and said, Madara, really? Whether it's true or not, are you sure you want to fight me? There's only one person I like, Hashirama. Do you think I don't dare to attack you? Or do you think that these 4 people can protect you? You are too naive, Orochimaru. Orochimaru would naturally not be scared by him. He clasped his hands together and opened the coffin lids one by one. There was a cold flash in Obito's eyes, and his aura burst out, and he raised 2 fingers. I'll come find you again, Orochimaru. As soon as he finished speaking, his figure disappeared. It's not that he was a coward, but he saw Itachi's figure in the distance. He felt that he could handle 1 against 4. But if there was another 1 against 7, it would become 1 against 5. Looking at the place where he disappeared, Orochimaru and his companions were somewhat puzzled. The days passed one by one, and soon it was the night before the 5-Kage summit. Muai village Uchiha clan land dinner table. It will be soon. When Shikako returns from the 5-Kage conference, it will be my turn to succeed the Godame. After hearing Fugaku's words, future Sasuke said with emotion, this world is like a world in a dream. Everything is so similar to Infinite Tsukuyomi. Perhaps this is the benefit of live streaming. Knowing in advance that tragedy will happen, we can make changes in advance. In fact, even if Sarutobi Hiruzen does not compromise, the clan will probably not stage another coup. There is only one life, and there is only one life for family members. Few people are willing to gamble the future of the clan with their own lives and the lives of their families. Future Sasuke nodded. This is the truth. Even if it was him, although he cared about the Uchiha name, he was not willing to gamble his family's lives on whether Uchiha could become Hokage. Having enough food and drink and having a good family life are more important than anything else for him who once lost everything. Fugaku said, there will be a high-level meeting later, mainly to discuss the 5-Kage summit. If the information about Otsutsuki Tonari, Kaguya, and Obito is to be shared with the other 4 major ninja villages, it will inevitably reveal the fact that you came to this time and space. Future Sasuke knew what he was going to say and shook his head. I don't mind, that's good. Rain Country's Ayanin heard a strange noise when passing by a room. She walked over and gently opened the door. Naruto was seen sitting on the bed, fiddling with a very delicate puppet arm with his hands, and making strange kukuchichi sounds according to his imagination. Just when Ayanin was about to leave, she heard Naruto say in a very low voice, I am Robot Naruto, evil Azuma Hamada. I must stop your conspiracy. Xianen's mouth corners curved up. Naruto in the house gradually got excited, as if possessed by a spirit of drama, and raised his head with a determined look. Madara, I will not let you be destroyed. Before he could finish his words, he saw Xianen standing at the door. Naruto couldn't help but curl his toes inside the Akatsuki base. What? Pine thought he had misheard. He looked at Scorpion in front of him and asked in disbelief, you said Naruto has already mastered the puppet technique and can control puppets? He obviously hasn't even learned a simple technique like the Gale Palm. Is it possible that the Nine Tails is guiding him? Or, is it because puppetry does not require hand seals? Fire Nation Muai Village Hokage Building. The top brass are discussing what information can be revealed during the 5-Cage Summit, weighing the pros and cons. The most important of them is Naruto. Why not take this opportunity to spread the news that Naruto was captured by Obito, so that everyone will know what happened, or let everyone go together to find Obito and bring Naruto back? When saying this, Sarutobi Hiruzen's tone was full of worry about the future. Otherwise, if Naruto is never found, the truth will be exposed one day, and the consequences will be more serious than they are now. Chapter 267 5 Shadows Talk. This was something that all 5 people on the field could have predicted. Fugaku nodded in agreement. I support the Sandane's proposal. He's going to succeed a 5th Hokage, so he can't leave all the problems to be solved after he becomes Hokage. Right. Although Itachi was very reliable, especially when it came to the village, he was still just one person. The Konoha high-level officials believed that he could bring Naruto back, but it was impossible to bring Naruto back in a short period of time. Fugaku continued, I believe many people can understand this. After all, Obito's space-time ability is hard to defend against. Let alone 4 Anbu. As long as Obito is determined to take Naruto away, even 10 Anbu will be useless. I got the information Itachi sent back from the Ninja Cat. Itachi guessed that Obito might find a way to get the impure world reincarnation, so his next move is to find Orochimaru, stay with Orochimaru for a while, and wait for Obito to show up on his own initiative. Shikoku nodded at first. This analysis makes a lot of sense. Then he frowned and thought, but time waits for no one. Exposing Naruto. I'm afraid it won't be that simple, and not everyone can understand it. Naruto was kidnapped by a masked man, which is a huge event for the entire ninja world. After all, they are still waiting for Naruto to grow up and save the ninja world. Now Naruto's life or death is unknown. Even if they cooperate with Plan A, the firepower of the ninja world will definitely be concentrated on Konoha. In the end, the discussion ended with letting Liu Jiu decide whether to expose the matter or not depending on the circumstances. A few days later, recently, a green tights craze has emerged in Konoha village. Even the Uchiha clan members who trained with Kai were not spared. The only difference between the clothes they wore and Kai's tights was that their tights had the Uchiha family crest printed on the back. The Uchiha clan members initially refused to accept this outfit, but after some tribesmen tried it, they spoke highly of the clothes, especially when training physical skills. It was much more comfortable than the high-collared clothes that the Uchiha originally wore. After trying the same tights as Kai, I don't want to take them off. Fugaku was walking on the way to the Hokage building. He watched his family members walking upside down with Guyan passing by him not far away. He couldn't help but sigh. More and more people are pouring out their youth and sweat. They seem to have been led astray by Mr. Kai. I don't know if it was a right decision to allow them to practice taijutsu with Mr. Kai. What a bunch of green-skinned people. Iron Kingdom. There are 5 seats at the conference table, representing the ninja villages of the 5 major countries. Tsuchika Jinoki was surprised when he saw the Hokage guards around Shikoku. You want someone from the Uchiha clan to be the Hokage's bodyguard? You are still young to let a ninja from a clan that wants a coup d'etat protect you. Shikoku smiled and said, I am only the acting Hokage of Konoha. My strength is a shortcoming. If I want to ensure my safety during such a long journey, I will naturally need the protection of the excellent ninjas in the village. Having said that, he ignored the expressions of the 2 Uchiha elite ninjas behind him and sat in the seat that belonged to the Hokage Kumagakure Ai, who looks rough on the outside but is actually delicate on the inside. Sneered, you are trying to sow discord between Konoha village and the Uchiha clan at this time. Inoki, have you been bribed by Madara? Before Inoki could fight back, Chiyo, who was standing behind Raza, taunted him. Inoki, if you have too many questions, you can go down and see your father earlier. Maybe your father will be happy to answer these questions for you. Inoki's face darkened. This old lady has a really vicious tongue. Shikaku tried to hold back his laughter. I have a picture in my head. A curious little boy kept asking his father questions. Laughing in such situations would be somewhat impolite, and would also deepen the conflict and bring trouble upon yourself. It had just been 7 years since the Third Ninja World War ended, and they felt somewhat uncomfortable when they saw each other. Therefore, this tense atmosphere was caused by their personal grudges against each other. Shikaku and Madarumi, who was also trying to hold back her laughter, sat in their seats, quietly watching the three of them fighting each other. When Shikaku felt that it was about time, he spoke to smooth things over. Everyone, we are not gathered here to quarrel. The purpose of the 5-Cage Summit is for us to unite and face future enemies together. Qiu glanced at Shikaku and said, I have heard about the Naruto clan of Konoha village for a long time. After meeting them, I found that they are indeed worthy of their reputation. She had originally thought of pulling down Shikaku and Madarumi, who were watching the fun, to fight each other, but the other party came out to smooth things over at this moment and didn't give her any chance at all. Inoki floated to a seat and sat down. Young people nowadays are incredible. Kage also sat in his seat. Humph. Konoha has so many talented people that it's really enviable. Shikaku ignored the three people's words and spoke first. I believe you all know that the future enemy of the ninja world is not just Madara. There is also an enemy powerful enough to destroy the ninja world, Kaguya. So it is best for our 5 major ninja villages to put aside the prejudices in our hearts like the Ninja Alliance on the screen, Kaguya. We only know this name. Whether the incident that almost destroyed the ninja world is true or not, we still need to be told the truth. Our first priority is to find Uchiha Madara and find a way to kill him before he gets the Rinnegan. Shikaku shook his head slightly and said, Konoha actually has more information about the future than you do. After these words came out, the 4 of them looked at him. Madarumi raised an eyebrow. Everyone watched the live broadcast together, and no one missed a single thing. How can you say that Konoha has more information than us? The 4th Raikage sneered. Hokage agent, did you drink before you came here? Why are you talking nonsense? Shikaku ignored these questioning voices and said, Konoha knows that Madara has died a long time ago, knows the true identity of the masked man, knows who Kaguya is, and knows that there are many crises in the future of the ninja world, not just Madara. There is no need for me to lie to you in this situation. Inoki frowned and asked, even if you didn't lie to us, how did Konoha know this information? Outside, the Iron Country warrior transformed from white Zetsu pricked up his ears. The next moment, Shikaku's voice reached its ears, because right after the second live broadcast, something incredible happened. Sasuke, who came from the future, came to this ninja world with a treasure that can travel through time and space. All this information was learned from him, not to mention the people in the room. Even Baiju didn't believe it. The Sasuke of the future is ridiculous enough, but what the hell is this treasure that can travel through time and space? Sure enough, after the room was quiet for a moment, a burst of questioning voices immediately arose. Chapter 268. Who leaked the news? Do you know what you're talking about? Ridiculous. You don't think we believe you, do you? You are able to tell such an outrageous lie. What is your purpose in Konoha? Shikaku spread his hands. This is not the most important thing. Shouldn't the important thing be this information? What if it is true? You 4 great ninja villages are not going to let Konoha deal with all these future crises, right? Terumi smiled unscrupulously and said, it's not impossible. Inoki said solemnly, whether it is true or not, we at Iwagakure are not as tasteless as Kumagakure. In the future crises of the ninja world, Iwagakure will definitely fight together with the 2 saviors of Konoha, the 4th Raikage. White Zetsu's information is shared. Not only is the doorman disguised as a white Zetsu, but there are also many white Zetsu lurking underground. Therefore, the content of the 5-Cage Summit soon reached Obito's ears. Obito looked at white Zetsu with an uncertain look. Sasuke from the future has come to this ninja world? Is the news true? Really? You came with Naruto, what? Did you actually mention my name? Obito's face looked extremely ugly. So, the live broadcast didn't expose me, but Sasuke from the future did. Before this news came, he still thought that he was the one destined to succeed. Blessed by God, at least, it is favored by live broadcast. But now, his identity has been exposed. Whether it's the real future Sasuke or not, we have to find something for him and Konoha to do to be on the safe side and keep them at bay. Obito recalled the dense crowd outside Konoha village and had an idea. White Zetsu. Find a way to spread the news that future Sasuke is coming to this ninja world. Over in the Iron Country, Shikoku is still sharing information. Obito here. White Zetsu selectively told Obito the information he heard there is for what was concealed. It was nothing more than Obito being used by Madara, and changing his mind in the future to help Naruto and Sasuke fight against the chakra founder. As for Kaguya, he simply said that she was defeated by Naruto and Sasuke working together. Kaguya Otsutsuki, the originator of chakra, Tonari Otsutsuki? Can he split the moon in half with one strike? Are you still discussing how to train Naruto and Sasuke? It seems that Konoha doesn't dare to reveal the truth. Somewhere in the ninja world, Orochimaru looked at Itachi impatiently. When are you going to leave? Itachi smiled politely. Excuse me, Mr. Orochimaru. Just pretend I don't exist. Once the masked man gets what I want, I'll leave immediately. When he arrived, he just saw the masked man leaving. Judging from the tense atmosphere between the two sides, it was obvious that Orochimaru did not give the impure world reincarnation technique to the masked man. He has already informed Konoha of the situation, and believes that the village will keep a strict watch on this forbidden technique, and it is not impossible that it will even be destroyed. Orochimaru on the screen was drooling over Itachi's eyes. Now Orochimaru seems to be looking down on him. Live streaming has raised his standards. Let's not talk about the eternal Mangekyo, the Rinnegan, and the Magadama Rinnegan. Take the battle between Naruto and Sasuke for example. Even with the Sharingan, it is still far from reaching that level. If you really want to seek the truth, you have to start from other aspects. Fire Country. Kakashi took out a pair of underwear and looked at Parker in front of him. I'll leave it to you, Parker. Massacre. Could this be? I found these in Obito's house, and they are the only two personal belongings he had in his former home, Kakashi said as he handed the underwear forward. Polite, at percent, and Parker took a step back in disgust. I'm a ninja dog, not a god dog. These underwear are moldy, and the smell of mold is so strong that I can't smell it even if you let that guy wear it again. Didn't you say the only two? What's the other one? Kakashi felt a little regretful. He folded the underwear and put it into the storage scroll. His movements were gentle, and there was nostalgia in his eyes. It was as if it was a precious item left behind by his first love before she died. Then he took out a pair of shoes from the scroll. Parker, are they all hard dishes? I think you are making things difficult for me. Parker, please. Parker. Puck looked at Kakashi's somewhat sad expression, resisted the urge to bite him to death, and moved closer to the enchanted weapon. When he got close, Parker was dizzy for 2 seconds, shook his head and said, okay. I have memorized the smell of this guy's feet. Kakashi, just, don't you have any smell on your body? Parker looked up and looked at him with disdain. You asked me to smell shoes. Besides the smell of feet, is there also the smell of your body? Kakashi took out the underwear again. Then Parker didn't even think twice. I refuse. White Zetsu was very fast, and the news that future Sasuke and Boruto were coming to this ninja world spread to many places in the ninja world. The next day, Ninja World, future Sasuke came to this ninja world? Who made this up? Can you go a little further? It must be fake. All liars deserve to die. I was cheated out of 5,000 Ryo at the gate of Konoha. I'm so angry. Even if it's fake, I'm going to go there. What if I really see the future Sasuke? It's better not to go. I just came back from Konoha village. Konoha has been closed now and no missions are accepted. I just got back too. Naruto and Sasuke are nowhere to be seen. Emperor Kai did come out to meet us, but I'm afraid he won't come out again. There's no point in waiting. No matter what, I have to go. If it's true and I get to see it, it will be worth it no matter how long I wait. I really don't understand your train of thought. Isn't it just future Sasuke? Is it worth waiting so long just to see him in person? If you ask me, it would be better to go to other big ninja villages than to go to Konoha village. Issue a D-rank mission and have those ninjas use transformation techniques to transform into the future Sasuke, Emperor Kai, and Konan to take a photo with you. It's different. Is the fake worthy of being compared with a real one? Without knowing whether the news was true or not, many people still set out for Konoha village. Rain Country. Pain looked solemn. Future Sasuke and Boruto came to this ninja world. Xiaonin frowned and said, I don't know where the news came from. Muai village Uchiha clan land. The Uchiha guards had gone from 2 to 10. They were helpless in the face of this group of villagers who insisted on seeing Sasuke. Just let us take a look. Just one look. Please, handsome guy. Handsome Uchiha guy, can you help call out the future Sasuke? If you try to hide Sasuke again, we will force our way in. The Uchiha looked bitter. Which stupid Konoha high-ranking official leaked the news? Chapter 269. Crazy. One of the leading Uchiha clan members said with a straight face, this is Xiaoxu's business. Even if you really saw the future Sasuke-sama, it might be someone else pretending to be him using the transformation technique. I don't believe it. Unless you let me go in and look for it. Where's Boruto? Did they say Boruto is here too? Is he also in your Uchiha clan? One of the villagers rolled his eyes, then pointed at one of the Uchiha clan members and said loudly, "You Uchiha clan are too greedy. Not to mention hiding Sasuke, you even hid Boruto." The Uchiha clan member subconsciously retorted, "The Uchiha clan didn't hide Boruto, he is in Hyuga." Having said this, he suddenly realized that he had said the wrong thing this time. The villagers were furious. It's true. Sasuke and Boruto are really here. Sasuke. Can you hear me? As long as you can get Sasuke out, I swear I will never hate you Uchiha clan again." It doesn't matter that this Uchiha clan member said the wrong thing, but he dragged the Hyuga clan into trouble as well. The news of Boruto's membership in the Hyuga clan quickly spread throughout Konoha village. The villagers swarmed towards the Hyuga clan outside the closed door of the Hyuga clan. "Damn Hinata, hand Boruto over. I was wondering why I couldn't see Naruto. Naruto must be here too. After all, his son and future wife are in Hyuga. Hand over Boruto and Naruto." "Naruto. Do you hear me? I packed you a bowl of your favorite tonkatsu ramen. Is anyone here? I'm here as a guest. If you don't reply, I'll go in." Of course, this is just to scare the people inside. Otherwise, if you enter someone's house without permission, you will be caught by the police force. The Hyuga clan Hinata Hayashi looked like he had a headache. Who the hell revealed Boruto's affairs in Hinata? There's a lot of noise outside the door. The Hyuga tribe members waited for the tribe leader's orders. The four kids listened to the noise outside the door and stared at each other. Boruto's face turned pale. This is too crazy. Before Hinata, Neji, and Hanabi could say anything, they heard a loud shout coming from the door. "Hinata. Can you hear me, Hinata? Do you remember Samita from last month's live broadcast?" Hinata's petite body trembled, and tears quickly filled her eyes. Boruto was a little overwhelmed when he saw this. "What on earth is Samita?" Ka-san, don't cry." Boruto quickly used his sleeves to wipe Hinata's tears. "Be good, don't cry, Kazan, we won't pay any attention to them." Neji, the Hyuga tribesmen around had strange expressions on their faces. "Uchiha clan territory. I'm sorry Sasuke, I don't know why this matter was exposed." Fugaku looked guilty. Future Sasuke shook his head, a smile forming on his face. "It won't hurt to be exposed, and it won't affect anything." At this time the originally tiny noise was drowned out by a sound of extremely high decibels. "Sas. What a kiss. Is it really ramen flavored?" Future Sasuke, Fugaku. The smile on future Sasuke's face froze. Fugaku touched his nose awkwardly. Rain Country Naruto clasped his hands together, looking as if he was constipated. "Wind palm. Ow. Fierce wind palm." Not far away, Zion held his forehead with his hand and said, "Otherwise, it's better not to let Naruto practice the fierce wind palm. It's actually a good choice to let him concentrate on learning puppetry." Pine nodded. "In this way, we can capture a few strong men and shadows and let Scorpion make puppets for Naruto. As long as it can enhance Naruto's strength, those guys will die for a good cause." Scorpion shook his head and said, "No. As a puppeteer, I am well aware of the shortcomings of puppetry. Unless I make myself into a human puppet, even then, I can't reach the heights that Naruto will reach in the future." "I see." Zionon was thoughtful. "Then let's find a way to help Naruto master wood release. Ashura and the first Hokage both master wood release. As long as you help Naruto master the water and earth attribute chakra, there is no reason why Naruto cannot learn wood release." Time flies. There are only 3 days left until the next live broadcast. After Shikoku returned to Konoha from the Land of Iron, he immediately held a succession ceremony for the 5th Hokage. At the Hokage ceremony, Fugaku, wearing a divine robe and a Hokage hat, looked at the crowd below. "From today on, I am the goddamn Hokage of this village." Except for some of the Uchiha clan members, there wasn't much cheering. On the contrary, the discussions are still going on. "Where is Sasuke? It's fine if the younger one doesn't come out to see his father succeed as Hokage, but why doesn't the older one come out yet? What about the future Sasuke? Why not let him succeed as the village's 6th generation? I think this is just a rumor, right?" In the divine space, Obito took a deep breath. That Itachi guy is still following Orochimaru. He knew Itachi wanted to find him to ask about Naruto's whereabouts. Obito really didn't want to say it. As long as Naruto was still in Akatsuki, Nagato would not dare to fight with him. I believe Nagato doesn't want him to reveal the fact that Naruto is in Akatsuki. Although the relationship is very strained now, Nagato is still useful to him. There were 2 live broadcasts, and each time it brought about huge changes to the ninja world if any major changes occur again, such as his powerful abilities being fully exposed. The Moon Eye project will be completely ruined. Fire Nation outside Konoha Village, a hotel that can accommodate hundreds of people has been built as soon as the business started. It was packed with customers instantly. Some rooms have even been booked until next year. Moai Village. At the Hokage ceremony, Fugaku and the Uchiha clan members felt a little embarrassed. It can be seen that the villagers still don't quite approve of them. Just when Fugaku was thinking of letting it go and was about to turn around and walk off the stage, not far behind him, a young ninja who looked very unfamiliar slowly walked forward. The villagers' noise continued, but many of them noticed the strange young man. Who is this? Never seen before. Another new face. The last person who made me feel strange was Kakashi without makeup. A ninja who is proficient in perception said, "There's something wrong with this guy's chakra fluctuations. It's a transformation technique." Hearing this, the people around him held their breath, as if they had guessed something. Could it be that? No way. That rumor, could it be true? How is this possible? Fugaku heard the footsteps and looked at the strange young man. His expression was a little complicated and guilty. "I'm sorry, I didn't expect it to turn out like this. I thought the villagers would see the efforts made by the tribe members during this period. It seems that gaining recognition from the villagers is harder than imagined." He could actually guess the reason. It was because the live broadcast exposed that Uchiha had wanted to stage a coup. The young man shook his head. "Being able to see my father become Hokage has already made my dream come true. This may become the most unforgettable scene in my life, so, leave the rest to me." As he said this, the young man had already walked up to Fugaku. Chapter 270, Glowing. The villagers watched this scene and began to quiet down. The young man slowly raised two fingers. Bang sound. After the smoke cleared, the villagers saw the young man's original appearance. Future Sasuke just appeared like that, appear in front of everyone. The air is silent. The villagers stared at the man on the stage. This was the first time that Future Sasuke experienced such a thing. The looks from those below, which were like dogs looking at bones, made him feel a little uncomfortable, and his heartbeat began to speed up slightly. Time passed by second. At last, a male villager screamed like a girl. "Sas, give it!" Shocking and exaggerated screams rose one wave higher than the other. Lu Jiu and others covered their ears. They felt like their eardrums were about to shatter. Shikaku smiled bitterly and said, "I still underestimated Sasuke's influence in the future." Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at him blankly. "Huh? What did you say?" Looking at Sarutobi Hiruzen, whose voice was completely covered by screams and whose only words were moving, and then looking at his expression, it was not difficult for Shikaku to guess that the other party was probably asking him what he had just said. Of course, not everyone likes and admires Sasuke. They like Naruto more than Sasuke, but once I was aroused by the atmosphere on the scene, I felt like I would be an outlier here if I didn't howl a few times. The sound was so loud that even the slightest movement could be heard outside the village. Those villagers in the village who did not support Uchiha becoming Hokage, and even refused to watch the Hokage ceremony, could no longer sit still after hearing the shouts from the succession ceremony. "It's Sasuke. It's the real future Sasuke. It's the Sasuke who suffers a very pitiful experience on the screen. The man who had been through it all. The man whose power was like that of a god, and who could control all nine-tailed beasts with a single glance, showed up at the Hokage ceremony." It can be said that there are more people who admire and worship future Sasuke than Naruto and Sasuke in this time and space. In the eyes of many people, it is not an exaggeration to call Naruto and Sasuke's experiences in the future legends. More and more people are rushing there. Some people even almost fell down when running towards this side. Far in the air there are countless ninjas rushing over here. The scene was spectacular. Fugaku, Mikado, little Sasuke and a group of Uchiha clan members looked at this scene in shock. Mikado covered her mouth with her hands, tears of excitement welling up in her eyes. Fugaku had a complicated expression, looking at the future Sasuke with pride and pity in his eyes. Future Sasuke was a little dazed. Is it really that exaggerated? Isn't it just what I experienced? Everyone in the venue seemed to have forgotten that they were here to watch the Hokage succession ceremony. He had an idea in mind. If, when he goes back, he will make a movie about Naruto's experience. Let everyone see Naruto's experience. The cohesion of Konoha village. I am afraid it will rise to an unprecedented height. I don't know how much time passed, but the noise in the field finally died down. Off stage, one villager slapped himself lightly, looking very annoyed. "If I had known Sasuke was watching here, I should have cheered for him." Outside the village, some tourists were knocking hard on the barrier of Konoha village. "Let me in quickly. What if Sasuke leaves? I'm the client. Let me in. I'm willing to spend 500,000 ryo to issue an A-level mission and let the ninjas from your village clean up your village. As long as you can let me in, Let me in. I want to buy a house in Konoha village. I want to settle here. What kind of damn luck do the villagers of Konoha village have? Not to mention having Naruto, Sasuke, and Emperor Kai. They can even see the future Sasuke with their own eyes. Inside Konoha village. Wait until the crowd is almost quiet. Future Sasuke spoke slowly. When I first came to this time and space and heard that Uchiha might become Hokage, I thought I was hallucinating. I heard that you have seen my experiences from childhood to adulthood in the live broadcast. I believe you know me very well now. No matter what wrongs I have done in the past, I am now Uchiha Sasuke of Konoha village. I am like most of the Uchiha clan members. I also firmly believe that after the Uchiha of this time and space becomes the Hokage, sooner or later he will become the Uchiha of Konoha, and become the Uchiha recognized by you in your hearts. Perhaps this is why the Sandaime gave the Uchiha clan the opportunity to become Hokage. Having said this, future Sasuke turned around and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen. Sarutobi Hiruzen had a pleased smile on his face. This future Sasuke is not only very sensible, but also understands him very well. Then, future Sasuke turned around and bowed to the villagers below the stage. Please believe that after becoming Hokage, the Uchiha will definitely throw away the shackles of family ideology, take the village as the center, and protect everyone with their own lives. From today on, my father, Uchiha Fugaku, is the fifth Hokage of the village. As his words fell different from before, there was a burst of cheers from below. The Uchiha clan members clenched their fists one by one, and some of them were so moved that they burst into tears. Sasuke-sama seems to be glowing at this moment. Sasuke-sama's words have helped to dispel many prejudices in the hearts of the villagers. I will never let Sasuke-sama down. Next, future Sasuke went outside the village again. The fanatical shouts shook the sky. The villagers in the village only felt that the ground was shaking. Time flies and it's 3 days later. Yesterday afternoon, a system prompt sound appeared in Boruto and Sasuke's minds at the same time. After carefully reading the system description, the two clicked to subscribe without any hesitation because today is the day of the live broadcast. The ninja school was dismissed early. Uchiha clan land. Misaka's eyes were filled with reluctance. I'm leaving after the live broadcast. Can't I stay for 2 more days? Future Sasuke couldn't bear to see his mother's expression at the moment, so he turned his eyes away and said with some difficulty, I'm sorry, mother. Naruto is still waiting for me to come back. You know, the future ninja world is also not peaceful, and I am needed there. Mikoto and Fugaku sighed at the same time. Never mind, we understand you. Fugaku took out a scroll from his arms and handed it to future Sasuke. I saw that you haven't even paid off your mortgage in your own time and space, so I took out some of our family savings. There are also some thoughts from the tribesmen in it. They hope that you can live a better life in your own time and space. At least, you shouldn't worry about money. This, future Sasuke hesitated, take it. No matter how hard it is. You can't let your wife and children suffer. When you go back, use this money to pay off the mortgage and move to a bigger house. Thinking of his wife and daughter, future Sasuke no longer hesitated and took the scroll. A smile appeared on Fugaku's face. Inside this scroll is a scarf that your mother knitted for your family of 3. Hearing this, future Sasuke clenched the scroll tightly. A warm feeling passed through his heart, and his eyes became a little moist. I see. When the live broadcast ends, it's time for them to say goodbye forever in the future. Perhaps even if he has this intention, he will not be able to find this time and space. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 271. The third live broadcast begins. Boruto looked at the screen that suddenly appeared in front of him with a look of curiosity. Is this the live broadcast? I'm so looking forward to it. Is the person in the lower right corner who is dressed strangely from another world? He looks no different from us. As the live broadcast begins, the people in the Pure Land began to wake up. Minato and Kushina were surprised to find that they were not first unsealed before appearing in the Pure Land moon. Has the seal of my family finally been released? This month has been so long. As usual, the first video is usually the most explosive. Don't ask why. The answer is that the host likes to watch it and big data recommends it on screen. That was the voice chat record between 2 people. The cute little girl's soft voice reached the ears of everyone in the ninja world. Oh woo, I'm going to bite you. After saying that, she even burped a little. Then, a low, magnetic, and doting voice was heard in a pinched voice. You little thing is so fierce, I'll knock the bottle away from you. Then, Then I will pull the little milkshake onto your laptop keyboard while you are working. Here baby, please poop more. I like your thin, sweet poop. Everyone in the ninja world, everyone in the Pure Land. Boruto shook off the goosebumps on his body, his expression twisted. Is this a live broadcast? Future Sasuke looked shocked. Sasuke sighed and patted his shoulder. Used to it? Future Sasuke looked shocked. Are you used to it, little Sasuke? Actually, I'm not really used to it. Lower right corner of the screen holding the idea that what doesn't kill me will make me stronger. Qiu Li didn't rush to look at the follow-up area, but slid to the next video. It was definitely not that he had some weird and evil interest in his heart and wanted to share the pain he had suffered with others. However, it was beyond his expectations. The next video is actually related to Naruto, just related, but not a pure Naruto video. On screen the three giants of anime, a comparison of the combat power of the protagonists of Death, Fire, and Sea. There is also a line of small words below that are full of desire to survive. Personal opinion. Please be gentle. Everyone in the ninja world was somewhat confused when looking at this title until they saw Naruto on the screen. Naruto, Shinin, combat power 240, second place Ichigo, human, combat power 5, third place Luffy, just out to sea, combat power 230, Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga clan. Boruto was a little surprised. That is actually the protagonist. Hinata nodded like a chick pecking at rice. Yet, Naruto is the protagonist of this world and the future savior. Uchiha clan land. Future Sasuke murmured, the protagonist of the world, ninja world. Is this the protagonist of some other story? Naruto is number one, that's our savior, of course he's number one. Not only is it number one now, it will definitely be number one in the future. PFFT. Is there a protagonist with a combat power of only 5, an ordinary person with a combat power of only 5? Does that mean my combat power is also only 5? Naruto's strength as a teenager was already 48 times mine. This Luffy is not simple. His strength can catch up with Naruto during his Jinan period. Didn't you notice the line of small words at the bottom of the video? This is just the personal ranking of the video author. Maybe this Luffy is much weaker than Naruto. On screen Ichigo's fighting power begins to rise. Primary Fullbring 75, Death Form 370, Intermediate Fullbring 450, Advanced Fullbring 650, First Release 800. Next is Naruto. Learn Rasengan 330, Primary Tailed Beast Cloth 400, One-Tailed Beast Coat 470, The Beginning of Shippuden 3 years later 500, Mastering the Rasen Shuriken 750, Three-Tailed Beast Coat 950, next up is Luffy. Second Gear 550, Third Gear 670, Nightmare Form 930, Armament Haki 1000, Ninja World. Many people opened their mouths wide. What is Shike? It can actually allow an ordinary person to instantly have a combat power of 800. Shouldn't the more surprising thing be the Armament Haki? It actually surpassed Naruto in an instant. This is the fighting power of another world. We can't control it. Why are we surprised? I'm more curious about how strong Naruto is when he kicks the black ball away. I'm really curious. My Naruto is not weaker than others. In the end, he will definitely be the strongest. On screen Naruto, Four-Tailed Beast Coat 1380, Ichigo, Shike plus Fullbring 1450, Luffy, Second Gear after Reunion 1150, Gear 1500 plus Armament Haki, Gear 1750 plus Armament Haki, Gear 1850 plus Fire Fist System. Naruto, Sage Mode 1930, Ichigo 2000, Luffy, 4th Gear Elastic Man 4000. Seeing this scene, everyone in the ninja world almost dropped their jaws to the ground. The combat power of Benkei in Gear 4 Elastic Man directly exceeds that of Naruto in Sage Mode. I feel that Naruto is already super strong now. Isn't Luffy exaggerating? No matter how you look at it, this guy is no match for Naruto. His combat power has reached 4000. I can only say, worthy of being the protagonist of another world? Too strong. This guy named Ichigo is so handsome. Just wait. Naruto's fighting power will definitely surpass theirs. On screen Naruto, Five-Tailed Beast Coat 2000, Nine Llamas Mode 2280, Fox Mode 2400, Ichigo, Half Ghost Face Form 2100, Hypomorphic Runaway Form 2200, Controllable Blurring Form 2280, Ghost Face V2. 2350, Fullbring Plus. 2600, Ninja World. Wow. Isn't this better than Luffy's Gear 4 Elastic Man? It seems like they all have stories, damn it. Has Naruto been surpassed like this? This guy named Luffy is so strong, but as soon as he finished saying this, he was slapped in the face on screen. Ichigo's combat power suddenly soared and directly surpassed Luffy. Full Hollow Runaway. 4350, Skybreak Flash. 5000, True. Shike. 5500 Luffy, Gear 4250 Tankman, Gear 4900 Snake Man, Ninja World. These two guys are exaggerating. It's hard to imagine that an ordinary person like me is just a weakling with a combat power of only 5. Ichigo is so strong. So handsome and powerful. Rain Country. Naruto pouted unhappily. What? Am I the weakest? Pure Land. Madara's expression gradually changed from being nonchalant to being serious. There's something. I don't know what my combat power was at my peak. Watching Naruto appear on the screen again, everyone in the ninja world was shocked. It appears. This is Naruto who kicked that dangerous black ball away, so Naruto has so many forms. Chapter 272, The Hellish Laughter of Reducing Merit. On screen Naruto, Initial 6-Path Sage Mode. 7500, Ninja World. Seeing this scene, many people in the ninja world felt relieved. Haha, ha. I knew Naruto was the strongest. He is worthy of being our savior. There should still be room for improvement for Naruto now, right? As a ninja grows from youth to adulthood, his strength will surely grow to its peak. Naruto will surely become even stronger. Pure Land. Madara pondered. 7005, could it be that he will be at this level in the future? Or even stronger? On screen Ichigo, The Last Crescent Moon. 8000, True Solution, Naruto, 6-Path Sage Mode, Naruto in Fox Mode during his youth, Naruto during the Boruto transition period. The video ends here. The comments section of this video is naturally full of questioning voices after seeing the comments from these people from another world. Everyone in the ninja world also understood that combat power in this video does not quite match the answer in everyone's mind. They can only be used as a reference video comments area. When he was young, Naruto didn't even activate the Sage Mode. He could use the Nine Tails chakra to block the Golden Wheel Tensei explosion that cut a moon with his bare hands. Moreover, the fighting power of the Hokage is getting worse and worse, so it feels no problem for Naruto to be ranked first. Sure enough, cross-world comparisons are just for fun. Is Ichigo's combat power low? That's too imprecise. Don't make a fuss. Naruto is at his peak when he has the power of Yang. After losing the power of Yang, Naruto's strength has been declining. How could Luffy, who had just set out to sea, not be able to defeat Naruto, who didn't know how to use the Rasengan? Judging from the destructive power, Luffy, who had just set out to sea, could break rocks and steel. I really can't see where Naruto is stronger during the Boruto era. What about Heavy Iron Mode? Could this be Heavy Iron Mode? Is this video for Huangdi and Yandy? Luffy has become a god now. In the eyes of many people, Naruto's strength ranking is related to the sense of honor of the entire ninja world. Now that they saw that their savior was ranked first in strength, many people in the ninja world felt a surge of sense of honor. Rain Country's organization. A smile appeared on Nagato's face. Naruto is still the strongest after all, but the Golden Wheel Tensei explosion that cut through the moon? What's going on here? This first comment is so eye-catching that it is hard not to notice it in the room. Naruto also shouted excitedly when he saw that he was the first place, but in the sealed space, Nine-Tailed Fox caught the Heavy Iron Mode with its sharp eyes. Heavy Iron Mode, it attempts to deceive itself, Kyuubi said disdainfully. Tisk. Who would pay so much for a little brat? Having said that, my heart is heavy. What kind of enemy could force it in Naruto into such a desperate situation? The Kingdom of Thunder. The fourth Raikage frowned. Cut the moon apart. Is it true? It seems that we need to speed up the process of manufacturing a spacecraft that can fly to the moon. After the live broadcast is over, I will go to the daimyo's mansion in person to ask the daimyo for research and development funds. We must not let Otsutsuki Tonari grow up. Country of Earth. In that Tsuchikage office, Unoki looked solemn. Deidara, who was sitting cross-legged on the floor tiles, had a bright light in his eyes. Cut open the moon. Unoki felt her throbbing in his temple. Behave yourself, you traitor. I promised Tsunagakure that I would keep an eye on you. The light in Deidara's eyes gradually dimmed, and he collapsed to the ground like a salted fish that had lost its dreams. Fire Nation. Shizune was stunned for a moment. What did I see? An attack that sliced open the moon. Tsunade also looked shocked. Can Naruto block such an attack with his bare hands? Muai village Hyuga clan Boruto was incredulous and said, isn't this too exaggerated? Cutting the moon in half. Even more incredible is, such an attack was blocked by dad with his bare hands. So, when my dad was Hokage, he really didn't bribe the higher-ups to use their connections. It's all based on strength. Thinking of Naruto's final fighting power, Boruto changes period. Boruto thought of the system introduction. Naruto is just a story created by a higher civilization. Could it be that? On screen next video. This is a foreign video. A little girl covered her face with her hands and huddled in the corner at the back of the classroom, crying. At this time, a little boy came over and asked, "Why are you crying?" The little girl tightly grasped the test paper in her hand, looked up at him with tears in her eyes and said, "Because I want to show my dad that I got full marks on the test paper." "But, he is no longer in this world," the little boy said. "If you don't mind, I can play your dad." The little girl looked visibly happy. She stood up and asked, "Really?" "Yes." The little girl skipped to the podium, holding the test paper in her hand, looking like she had just returned home. Then, she skipped towards the corner of the classroom. Dad, I got full marks on my test paper, Dad." The little girl stared blankly at the little boy lying on the ground pretending to be dead. Lower right corner of the screen. Qiu Li pursed her lips. He took another sip to see the joke of hell where merits are reduced. You have to look abroad. It's better to just brush it normally. Thinking of this, he marked the video as a focus area. Ninja World. What? Good fellow, this kid. PFFT. Don't laugh. PFFT, this kid is going too far. Box. This is just rubbing salt into the wound. Just tell me whether the performance was good or not. Okay, it's very well acted, lifelike. Sorry, I guess I shouldn't laugh. I just laughed a little, and now I feel so guilty, but I want to laugh again when I think about it. What should I do? On screen next video. Naruto's CPU is burned. Shikamaru and Naruto arrived at the entrance of Konoha Hospital. Naruto asked curiously, "Why did you come here suddenly?" "Wait a moment, it's coming." After hearing what Shikamaru said, Naruto looked towards the hospital entrance. Then I saw a Qiu Li with a big belly. Naruto took 2 steps forward, pointed at Hong's belly and said in shock, "She was sent to the hospital because she ate too much barbecue. Her belly is bigger than Chaji's." Shikamaru explained, "It's a child, not a barbecue." Naruto's pupils shrank, and he looked at Qiu Li's belly with a look of shock. "What?" Then, Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan future Sasuke was speechless. This idiot. Then he became thoughtful. "So this is a live broadcast." Hyuga Clan Boruto fell to the ground laughing. Ha. Dad is such an idiot. Did he think Aunt Hong ate the baby? The corners of Rizu's mouth twitched. Judging from Naruto's expression, it seems that's what he thinks. Chapter 273 Death of Akatsuki member. Ninja World is expected of you, Naruto. Speaking of which, isn't this common sense? How could Naruto possibly understand this as eating the child? After 3 years of training with that pervert Jiraiya, how come Naruto still doesn't know this? No way. Naruto doesn't think that every pregnant woman he sees is a big fat person who eats a lot. As for Naruto, you know what I mean. Besides Sasuke, all he has in his mind is ramen. On screen next video. Akatsuki members death scenes collection. Biwajuzo used his beheading sword to cut off the coral that was wrapped around Itachi. This is the 4th generation's coral palm technique, but then, he saw a tailed beast ball flying towards him and Itachi Biwajuzo raised the beheading sword and slashed at the tailed beast ball. Boom! There was an explosion. Itachi's body hit the tree hard, but he ignored the pain and turned around quickly, shouting, "Juzo, Biwajuzo," whose abdomen was cut open by the broken beheading sword, coughed up a mouthful of blood. "Run, Itachi." Next, Chihiyo's fingers moved slightly, and she used the 2 puppets, father and mother, to pierce Scorpion's regeneration core. What? Scorpion turned his head tremblingly and looked at the puppet mother on the right, then turned his head and looked at the puppet father in the memory. The 2 puppets held the young Scorpion in their arms. It looked so warm. In reality, blood flowed from the corners of the Scorpion's mouth. A scratched Tsunagakure forehead guard fell to the ground. Chihiyo said sadly, "Scorpion had seen through my last attack a long time ago, but for some reason, he did not dodge and even revealed a little flaw." Sakura seemed to be infected by Chihiyo's sad mood and whispered, "That means." Sand Hidden Village Fengying Building. There were sparkling tears in Chihiyo's eyes. "That means Scorpion didn't fight us with all his strength, right?" Rain Country Zio Organization. Biwajuzo paused as he wiped his beheading sword. "Although I had already guessed my ending, but I didn't expect that I would be the first one in the video." Conan sighed, always talking about boring family affection, but family love always carries a lot of weight in Scorpio's heart, right? And later, she might even see Nagato's death. Thinking of this, Xiaonin glanced at pain beside him and his heart ached. In a room, Naruto's pupils reflected Scorpion, whose mouth was full of blood. Brother Scorpion and Brother Juzo, are they dead? The big brother Scorpion, who was very kind to him and gave him a puppet, and there was also big brother Juzo, who lent him his precious sword to play with. Naruto had tears in his eyes and clenched his fists tightly. Damn it. Brother Scorpion and Brother Juzo are such good people. It was Sakura and the grandmother who saved Gaara who did it. Naruto held his head in pain. Why is this happening? In the Akatsuki organization, the ones who accompanied him the most were Conan in pain, followed by Sasori and Juzo. Ninja World. Not far from the border of the water country, Itachi murmured absent-mindedly. Juzo, what a reliable companion. Before this, he thought that all the people in Akatsuki organization were bad guys, but the live broadcast changed his mind. Juzo, my future self is lucky to have a teammate like you. His body's movements were controlled by the coral, and if he was hit by the tailed beast ball, the consequences would be disastrous. In Biwa, Juzo was completely using his own life to save him on screen. Next, it was Fitoin who was in the pit with bloodshot eyes. Asshole. Shikamaru threw the Qiu Li with an explosive tag attached to it towards the pit. Boom, the boulder collapsed, burying Hidden. I told you, you will definitely be punished by the evil god. At this point, Fitoin laughed wildly. Ha ha ha. And the one who will punish you is me. To punish you, I will only need to use my teeth. I will bite you to pieces. On screen, next, Kakashi held up Raikiri and looked at the dying Kokuzu in front of him. People in the new era will surpass you one after another. Next to Faye, I'm sorry, you will be blown to death in my admiration. Feel the fear. Marvel at me. Feel the despair. Cry for help. My art is, at this point, all of Dieter's chakra gathered in his chest, slowly shrinking into a small black ball, and it began to shatter, and beams of light shone through the cracks in the black ball drink. It's an explosion. Ninja World, such a scene is shocking. No matter how many times you watch it, I still approve of Dieter's art, even though his ultimate art can only be used once. Why is it the fifth one? What just flashed past? It seems like Kakashi dodged it. Rain Country Zio organization. Old man Kokuzu's face turned dark. I am a man who fought with Senju Hashirama. Why is the death scene so short? Is he so shameless? However, after knowing that he did not die at the hands of Naruto, his prejudice against Naruto was somewhat reduced. No way. I have to stay away from Naruto from now on. That guy can harm my heart. Fire Nation Muai Village Nara Clan. Shikamaru's face turned pale with fear. Did my future self kill one of them? I won't be retaliated by them, right? Uchiha Clan land. When they saw the next member appear, both Sasuke and Sasuke showed the same complicated expressions on their faces on screen. With blood flowing from the corner of Itachi's mouth, he stretched out two fingers and pointed them at Sasuke's forehead. Forgive me, Sasuke. This is the last time. After leaving a line of blood on Sasuke's face with his fingertips, Itachi fell to the ground. Hey, Baiju in the distance said incredulously. Itachi fell down? Are you kidding? Is Itachi dead? Next, with his head and hands bound, Kisame struggled violently. Yamashiro Aoba was shocked and said, he actually bit his tongue? In order to prevent me from obtaining information, he regained his sanity with his own strength. Kisame laughed loudly, blood foam spurting out of his mouth, and finally broke free from the restraints. Kai just raised his fist to hide him. Kisame formed seals with both hands. Water prison technique. Kai's fist hit the water prison and he couldn't move forward even a little bit. A smile appeared on Kisame's face. In the water dungeon. Mr. Itachi, you are right. Only when you are on the verge of death can you see yourself clearly. Mr. Itachi, when you were dying, did you see yourself clearly? Mr. Itachi, now it seems that it is not entirely true that I am a hopeless person. As he thought of this, all the sharks in the water prison pounced on him. After a moment, the water ball exploded and blood spilled all over the ground. Several people looked at the scene in front of them in shock. Let the shark he summoned eat him, Kai said solemnly. Kisame Hoshigaki, I will remember you for the rest of my life. Rain Country Zio organization. Biwa Juzo looked shocked. Is Kisame so loyal to Akatsuki that he would rather commit suicide in this way than reveal Akatsuki's information? Chapter 274. I have nothing. Ninja World. This can be considered as the recognition of Emperor Kai. Hoshigaki Kisame, choosing this way to die. Hoshigaki Kisame is a real man. Lower right corner of the screen. Dabe curled his lips and couldn't help but complain in his heart. Well, forget it. When I got to Boruto, I thought about it for a long time and only remembered two names, Madara Hoshigaki and Uchiha Kasumi and Screen X Nagato slowly opened his eyes and loosened his clasped hands. It's not too late for me to atone for the people I killed after coming to Konoha. This can be considered as atonement for my sins for now. A green light hit Kakashi, who was sitting with Hatake Tsukumo in the Pure Land then. The entire Konoha village was shrouded in green light. Green spots of light floated all over the sky, and the ninjas who were hit by the spots of light opened their eyes again in a moment. Ninja World, I remember there was a part in the video before, where Sakura yelled Naruto's name in the ruins, and then Naruto really appeared. I can remember it because Naruto in that video was too handsome. In the ninja world, many people thought of the ruins in that video. So that's Konoha? Is this the result of the conversation between Nagato and Naruto? Naruto convinced Nagato, there are so many green spots, how many people did Nagato kill? Did Nagato ever think about who would protect Konan after he died? The next one should be Zayanin, right? Pure Land. Hashirama smoothed his chest and breathed a sigh of relief. Let the village be destroyed, as long as everyone is alive. Anyway, it doesn't take much effort to rebuild Konoha village. On screen X, Zayanin's eyes were full of fatigue and his tone was a little weak. The god of paper has been unlocked. I didn't expect that such a large amount of chakra would be required. But in this case, Madara should be able to. At this point, her pupils narrowed. The masked man with a disheveled figure appeared behind her and asked, "Dead?" Tick-tock. The blood dyed the river red. Zayanin lowered her eyes and looked at the black stick that pierced her chest. She looked a little unbelievable. I have practiced this countless times. According to this procedure, you should be defeated. Screen turns. Zayanin lay on the river, the white paper on his chest stained red with blood, slowly floating towards the house of his childhood, covering the last frog board. Rain Country. The second time he saw this scene, Naruto had a different feeling during this month. Everyone in Akatsuki was very nice to him. Among them, the ones Naruto had the most contact with were Pain and Konan, but in these short 2 or 3 minutes, he saw the death of everyone, especially Zayanin's death. At the end, Naruto felt as if a huge rock was pressing on his chest. He could only grit his teeth and breathe hard, tears falling uncontrollably. Sealed space. Kyuubi's pupils shrank. Oops, it shouted anxiously to Naruto. Naruto, calm down. In the room, when Naruto opened his eyes again, they had turned into vertical pupils. Unforgivable, unforgivable. Zio organization. Pain clenched his fists and his expression changed slightly. He glanced at Konan, then looked in Naruto's direction. Naruto's nine tails chakra is out of control. Zayanin's pupils contracted. The two of them didn't care about the screen blocking their way and quickly rushed towards Naruto's direction. They can change the tragic ending on the screen, but what is important right now is what is happening in reality. Ninja World. Wow, 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 my little Nanfu. My heart hurts so much. Rehearsed countless times? What rehearsed countless times? Konan knew the masked man's weaknesses and had practiced them numerous times, but unfortunately the intelligence was insufficient. Just look at the two exposed eyes of this masked man and you'll know that this guy is definitely not Madara. On screen the next title appears: one of the ceilings of civilian ninjas, Kabuto Yakushi. Sad background music played at the beginning of the video. A blonde woman wearing round-framed glasses appeared in front of everyone in the ninja world. Behind her was one of the children from the orphanage. Aki bent down and looked at the child leaning against a tree with blood on his head and said, "Is this the child from that village? The place where the war happened before? What should we do, sister? This guy has bleeding on his head. He probably won't live long. Do you want to take him away?" The blonde woman placed her hand on the head of the silver-haired boy in front of her and used the palm magic to heal him. "Aki, the injury is much lighter than yours back then." When she said this, the little silver-haired boy slowly opened his eyes, and what came into view was an extremely gentle face. The blonde woman smiled gently and said, "Don't worry. Even though I look like this, I still know some medical ninjutsu." Seeing the boy wake up, the blonde woman asked, "Where are your parents?" The little boy lowered his head. The blonde woman continued to ask, "What's your name?" The little boy turned his head slightly and said nothing. Aki popped his head out from behind the blonde woman. "You don't know anything? Really, Aki? Give me a hand." Aki walked up to the silver-haired boy and said, "You're lucky. Come, grab my shoulders." The screen gradually went dark. At this time a young man's voice sounded on the screen. "This is my earliest memory. From the beginning, I was nobody. I had nothing. I didn't know who my parents were, and I didn't even know my own name. Ninja World. I remember that old guy Danzo made the two of them kill each other. It seems that Kabuto Yakushi was defeated by Itachi and Sasuke later." Another flashback. Was he telling Itachi and Sasuke about his past at that time? On screen inside the orphanage, the blonde woman bandaged the silver-haired boy and said softly, "The wound is healing." Aki came over holding a helmet and said unhappily, "You didn't even say thank you. Don't you have any manners?" As he said that, he walked behind the little boy and put the helmet in his hand on his head. "Hey. Don't let anything happen again. Wear this, it hurts." Aki put his hands on his hips. It's okay that he doesn't know manners, but he doesn't even know who his parents are. "This is the first time I've met someone who doesn't even know his own name." As he spoke, he gently patted the helmet on the little boy's head. The blonde woman put her hand on the boy's face and said softly, "From today on, you will live here. In other words, from today on, I am your mother. If you have anything to say, just tell me." "You're welcome." Aki slapped the confused little boy on the head with his palm. "But this guy doesn't even have a name, which is so inconvenient." "Yeah." The blonde woman fell into deep thought. "What should I call it?" Then, her eyes lit up. "Dao. How about this name?" On the side, a group of children from the orphanage looked disgusted and complained, "No special features, too casual." "Is it because I was wearing a helmet?" The blonde woman smiled gently and said, "Simplicity is best." Dao looked at everyone laughing and a silly smile appeared on his face. This guy smiled. It seems he likes this name very much. Very good. Chapter 275, Let Danzo Take the Blame. Ninja World. I think I know why the background music is so sad. There are so many tragedies in this ninja world, and Danzo is responsible for a large part of them. Dean Nono looks like a gentle older sister. You can't tell she's a spy at all. I have always been treated like a mother and didn't recognize myself. Although there were conspiracies and calculations involved, the person I cared about the most died in my own hands. Any normal person would collapse after experiencing this. On screen, the other children in the orphanage were all fast asleep. Only Dao was lying on the bed, staring at the mask in front of him. In a daze, he recalled in his mind what Aki had said to him. "You didn't even say thank you. Don't you have any manners?" Dao seemed to have made up his mind. He stood up and walked to the dean's office. Before he could knock on the door, he heard voices talking inside. "What should I do now? I can no longer survive on government and village subsidies. We can only go to the country and the village to discuss this." They said they would not give any more money, but the operation is already difficult, and now there is one more person. Outside the room, Kabuto froze after hearing what the two said. No in the room pursed his lips, then looked up and said, "I understand, I will find a way." So, the expressions of the Fire Country Daimyo and Saratobi Hirozen were a little stiff because they have already guessed what impact this part will have if others see it. This is obviously an orphanage in Konoha village. The orphanage's lack of money is a small matter that they don't care about, so they naturally don't pay attention to it. However, the two pieces of information revealed in this paragraph will undoubtedly have an impact on the reputation of the Fire Country and Konoha village. If we think about the injured Dao at the beginning of the video, it may even affect other major countries. The first piece of information, the subsidies from Konoha village and the Fire Nation are very small, so little that it is difficult to raise one more child. The second message, someone told the people in the orphanage that they would not be given a penny. As for why it is implicated, if the militant factions of the big countries had not provoked the war, there would not be so many tragedies in the ninja world. So many innocent people would not have been implicated, and there would not have been so many orphans. Fire Nation Muai Village. In the Hokage building, there were only Fugaku and Shikaku. Fugaku rubbed his brows in pain. "Shikaku, do you think that if we approve more aid to the orphanage in the village, we can still restore Konoha's reputation?" Shikaku sighed. "After the funds are approved, just clarify this matter. I remember that it was 3 senior officials who handle these trivial matters. Most likely, Elder Danzo had people say those words in order to achieve his own goals." Fugaku's eyes lit up and he clapped his hands. "That's right. It's Danzo. Not only this matter, no matter what difficulties we encounter in the future, we can push Danzo to take the blame. Anyway, that guy's reputation is like canned herrings. If you throw dirty water on him, people will believe it. For example, Naruto was missing because of Danzo's collusion with the masked man. If the fact that Naruto has been kidnapped is exposed in the future, Danzo will be able to relieve a lot of firepower for the village." Shikaku twitched his lips and said, "God aim, your reaction is like I'm putting the blame on Elder Danzo and throwing dirty water on him. But I'm clearly telling the truth." Fugaku touched his nose awkwardly. He and Liu Jiayu's thoughts are not on the same channel at all. Ahem. "Really? The truth?" "Yes, that's the truth." Shikaku felt as if he had underestimated the Uchiha's hatred for Danzo. But in this matter, he didn't seem to have wronged Danzo. Pure Land, although being exposed will affect Konoha's reputation, I do this for Konoha. A walking Maiko, she was born to be a spy. Speaking of this, Danzo thought of Itachi who sent him to the Pure Land, and couldn't help but grit his teeth in hatred. He would never forget the burning pain even if he died. Hashirama looked angry. If you were still alive now, his face would probably be red with anger. How can you say such things to people from a charity like an orphanage? What on earth has the village been doing all these years? Tobirama frowned. A little subsidy is just a drop in the bucket for the village. If you are not willing to spend even this little money, why build an orphanage? Madara sneered. If not everyone knows the beauty of Moon Dream, I believe there must be many people in the ninja world who support me. In this terrible world, what is there to be nostalgic about? Isn't Infinite Moon reading good? Thinking of this, Ban felt a little tired. When will the live broadcast reach the world of Infinite Tsukuyomi? Until now, I believe that no one would understand him. Not only was he not understood, but everyone united to resist him. He spent the rest of his life worrying about a piece of the ninja world until his death. What was he trying to achieve? Ninja world, and you're saying you won't give me a penny? Are all the big countries in those big ninja villages like this? That should be the case in Konoha. Most orphans in small countries can only beg and wait to die. If you are lucky, you might be able to meet kind-hearted people in orphanages in other big countries besides Konoha and adopt them. Only the Fire Country and Konoha were revealed on the screen. What a pity. This happened a long time ago. Otherwise I would have wanted to donate some money to this orphanage. When Kabuto first met Nono, he was killed by mistake, right? What about Kabuto's parents? What about the village where they lived? Were they killed by mistake as well? During the Ninja World War, the safety of us civilians was not guaranteed at all. It's all the fault of the big countries that started the war. I'm not curious about other countries. I just know that my good impression of Konoha village and the Land of Fire has disappeared in an instant. Somewhere in the ninja world someone chuckled and said, no matter what happens in Konoha, I will never be prejudiced against Konoha. Jealousy made his friend beside him look unrecognizable. Tisk. Isn't it just that the future Sasuke came out of the village to meet you and thanked you for liking him? What's the big deal? The man shook his head. You don't understand. Then he spoke out what was in his mind. I remember a segment in a previous live broadcast. Before the Uchiha clan genocide, Uchiha Fugaku told young Sasuke that Itachi was born not to like getting close to others. In fact, in my eyes, Sasuke is the same. But even so, in order to live up to our enthusiasm and love for him, Sasuke still came out to meet us. Unlike Kai, Sasuke's personality is rather cold. This is like the richest man in the world, who is also a very cold, handsome, rich and arrogant man. In order not to disappoint some people's love for him, he comes out to meet ordinary people like them. Just thinking about it can make those who have experienced it feel flattered, even gratitude as a result. They also have a good impression of the Uchiha clan and Konoha village. Hehehe. Fortunately, I have enough patience. Not only did I wait for Emperor Kai and Kakashi-sensei, but I also waited for the future Sasuke. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.